Just 2 rounds remain in this season for BSR, Daytona, and Sebring. With the former on the menu for this evening, can Adam Delmont or Casper DeCourt do anything about Jason Cooper's lead? And do we see Craig Schill and Alistair Hatcher continue their tight battle for the AM title? 8 points are all that separate Craig and Alistair, and meanwhile, you've got hundreds that separate Jason Cooper from Adam Delmont and Casper DeCourt. And we've seen Craig Schill go to victory lane at Daytona. We've seen Jason Cooper dominate Draft Fest races at Watkins Glen just weeks ago. Genuinely, we have no clue what to expect on the high banks of South Florida. Hello and welcome to Pit Stop TV in the virtual Daytona International Speedway. I'm Andrew Cardinale IV with JP Costa alongside. Another week, another Tuesday, another round of BSR, and another week of talking about Jason Cooper's dominance, I presume.
Yeah, Andrew, it's going to be interesting to see. First off, hello everybody, welcome to Daytona. But yeah, last season it was an interesting one. We never really knew who was going to win on this race. And obviously, Andrew, I guess that's the beauty of Daytona, you know, that massive straightaway that leads to the start-finish line on the last lap could really be, you know, I guess the different factor of this racetrack could really throw a spanner in the mix. We could really see other drivers shining. Jason is going to have to do an amazing performance, not only in qualifying, but also on the race to make sure either he holds the lead or gets a perfect run out of the final corner.
Here's a look at the track map this evening presented by Whiplash Media SimCams. Daytona road course, nothing at all, I think, unfamiliar for any of us here. It's Daytona with some twisty bits in the middle, JP. I really do like, of course, and I think everybody likes what they've done with this road course, and, well, what was done so many years ago to give it just a little bit of character. Of course, the International Horseshoe has been shortened up over the years, and the bus stop has been changed just a little bit more recently, but it's such a fantastic, I think, course to take any kind of car to. NASCAR has raced on it, with some modifications, admittedly, out of NASCAR Turn 4, but IMSA, of course, races on it every January. Used to race on it in July, even, when it was the Grand Am Rolex Sports Car Series. Of course, Spec Miatas race here, as we're going to see, you know, here today. We're going to see some Miatas on the road course. So much races here, and I mean, even karts take to the, like, go-karts take to the big road course here at Daytona. So much can race here at Daytona. It's just a good race. I mean, good road course. There's not much else to say about it. I think the first, obviously, problem spot you'll watch today is going to be Turn 1. We might see some incidents in the International Horseshoe. Honestly, JP, I think Turn 5 might have more issues than Turn 3 today. I think the West Horseshoe will be a little more action-packed.
Yeah, I do think so too, Andrew. Last season, I think we had more incidents in Turn 5 than we had at Turn 3, so that's going to be something to keep an eye out for. Obviously, as you mentioned, Turns 1 is going to be really tricky, coming in with so much speed and obviously getting the car stopped. We saw cars last season hitting the tire barrier on the exit of the pit lane, if you recall. So, you know, it's crazy, you know, Turn 1. Obviously, then you had Turns 2 and 3. The kink should be flat out. And then obviously Turn 6, Andrew, a very important corner. If you get that wrong, you're going to have a terrible run all the way up to the bus stop. And, well, judging by how close I think the times will be and how close the pack will be on the race, you're going to lose a lot of spots if you make a simple mistake on Turn 6.
Definitely, and that's always the way it is here at Daytona. Same thing with the bus stop. If you are just a little bit off on exit, it ruins your lap. And either one. If you make one and not the other, you're still going to have a bad lap. If you miss both, of course, you're going to have a terrible lap. But the nice thing about Daytona is you generally have some pack racing. As you see there, a line of cars through the bus stop. You generally, not always, but generally have some draft to lean on to keep you in a group and save your lap at least to a point. Standings into today, I talked briefly about Jason Cooper's lead, over 300 points now, back over Adam Delmont. Casper DeCourt in the third spot, James Neve in fourth. Adam McNally there nearly 500 back, and Lars Fischer 550 back, just 3 points ahead of Sam Smith. More of the pros rising back into the top 5. Meanwhile, look at Craig Schill and Alistair Hatcher, 15th and 16th, only 8 points apart.
Yeah, that's massive, Andrew. That's really going to change tonight. I do think over the course of the 4 races, we might even see something changing on the first race itself. It's going to be crazy to see how it all is going to shape out to the last round of the season next week. But yeah, I mean, it's just insane how close they are on points. And yeah, this is going to be an interesting battle. Obviously, as you mentioned on the intro, Craig won here before overall. Alistair unfortunately didn't. So Craig kind of has that the high ground, I guess you can say, the advantage coming into Daytona. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. The another battle I'm looking forward to is the battle for second place. Adam Dalwan, Casper DeCourtis, and James Neve, all of them still in the same 100 points. That could change as well.
Adam and Casper just 9 points apart, I think is worth talking about throughout the course of, these next 2 weeks. It's doubtful that either one of them gets to Jason Cooper, but very likely that those two will swap spots throughout the day today, and very likely next week at Sebring as well. And I had to give the high ground a bit of a chuckle. I actually watched, was it Revenge of the Sith? Episode 3 in Star Wars last night. Anyways, the schedule for the season, it's been up and down and all around on a lot of American circuits, as we've talked about all season long. We've been excited for all of them. I didn't expect Canadian Tire and Road Atlanta to be so draft battle-ish. I didn't expect as many draft battles as we saw. Same thing for Sonoma, although Sonoma was a little more strung out, but we've seen drafting be such a big deal this season in both series, in every single race. That's only going to be accentuated here today, of course, at Daytona, and even next week at Sebring.
Yeah, I do think so too, Andrew. But I mean, I was not hesitant on the schedule when we first looked at it, but now I just absolutely fell in love. It could be a schedule, I think it could be repeated. We could switch up a bit of the tracks in order as well, but I mean, it has been such a fantastic course. And obviously, the Daytona, we're going to have quite a bit of slipstream. Sebring, quite a bit as well, I do think. But tonight, I think is going to be the round where we might see a new first-time winner.
Weather here in Daytona Beach, Florida, at least the virtual Daytona Beach, Florida, 65 degrees in the air, 66 on the track, and 7-mile-an-hour winds out of the north. Qualifying, as you've seen, I'm sure in the background, has been underway, and Michael Seal is currently the fastest over Nick Libbins, Adam Delmont, and Jamie Gulliford, just making his way currently into the top 4 in the standings, and James Neve there as well, looking pretty good. So, really, I don't think qualifying is going to matter all that much today, JP, but I think the notables are the fact that you've got a few cars towards the bottom that are ineligible to qualify, as we usually see, and it looks like those are going to be Liam Silkstone, Chris Knox, Andy McEwen, and potentially even Ashley Stimson that are not eligible for qualification.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I was going to mention Casper DeCourt as well, but you can clearly see he's out on the racetrack. And I was just going to mention the 5-star motorsport drivers, normally they excel on slipstream tracks like this, to get pole and essentially lock out, the first row and a half. So seeing, them 1.5, 1.3 seconds away from pole, it's kind of weird, but I feel like in the next few minutes, Andrew, we might see them coming back up.
On board with Casper in car number 5. It's definitely worth talking about the amateur pole sitter currently, Alistair Hatcher. In fact, drafting with one of his teammates right there, car 513, likely, Glenn Humberstone. It's Casper DeCourt. JP, we were just talking about them being a little bit off. Casper goes purple and goes to pole in car number 5. I'm impressed. I do want to still talk about Alistair Hatcher, though. Still the amateur pole sitter as things stand. Drafting here with Mark Oliver and Glenn Humberstone, a couple of teammates. I don't see Craig Schill in this grouping. In fact, he's leading them and probably going to try and use them to his advantage as well here. Alistair really needs Craig to have, I think, an uncharacteristic day. When you come to Daytona, Craig Schill actually tends to excel pretty nicely, so we'll see what he can do in car 982 today.
Yeah, absolutely. He has a great history at Daytona, so he wants to repeat what he did previously. And, this definitely is a track to, I guess, throw an upset winner, I guess you can say. But, Andrew, I was just going to mention, when we talked about Casper DeCourt and who went on pole, is that the first hint of maybe a good commentator's curse, something that actually helps the driver? For the whole season, it has only been terrible stuff. And now, as soon as we talk about Casper, he goes on pole. I mean, let's talk about Craig right now. Maybe he'll like us.
Maybe you and I just need to keep having sleepless nights, and we'll actually bless these guys into good qualifying efforts and finishes. We'll see. I don't want to put too much money on that. I'll still give it a good old knock on wood, but maybe that's how it works. As those guys have some issues there in the International Horseshoe, go a bit wide, maybe a little bit of contact invalidating their lap time. Still 3 minutes to go in qualifying. Fiona Siddons in position number 20. You can see she's got no friends currently into turn number 3. Duncan Cope, I'd imagine about the same. And, actually, he's taking a little bit of draft here from James Clark and one of the other 88 Tech cars, and even one of the, I wonder if that's Thortillo chasing one of the Time for Fun motorsport machines. And, yes, it is Thortillo chasing Jamie Gulliford.
Yeah, they're going to get a good slipstream out of turn 6. And now it's just pedal to the metal, and you're trying to, commentators first.
That's not going to help him.
Yeah, I don't think it worked. All right, more sleepless night, Andrew. Maybe just once per session. Maybe that's it. But Clark is going to get a good slipstream right here heading into the bus
And
stop.
no lifting.
And yeah, lifting. Just maybe lining up for the last lap of the qualifying, because after this one, it's over 2-minute lap time, correct? So they just have one. Adam Delmont, well, he's
looking a bit droopy.
Yeah, he's just trying, I guess, you know, shave some weight off, maybe get the car more, more aero. Maybe just trying to get a few thousandths of a second. And Nick Clibbins currently just 1.5 tenths away from pole, and well, he has a car up ahead. He could be getting that time back.
Chasing Sam Smith on the racetrack right now, using car 527 for a bit of draft help. These lap times just over 2 minutes. In fact, 2:07.9s it looks like. At least 2:07.9 for Sam Smith, 2:07.0 for Casper DeCourt. I'm actually quite surprised by the amount of spread within just the top 10. Douglas Stewart in 10th is over 1.1 seconds behind Casper DeCourt's pole time. I'm very surprised by that spread.
Yeah, it's quite a big one. Even compared to last season, I think it was way closer. And even if you compare it to tracks, maybe like Road America, we had quite a close field, wasn't it? And well, having this much of a gap and this much of a spread, even between 4th and 5th, it's unusual to say the least. Adam
McNally here chasing a couple of his Team Excite teammates, Nick Clibbins and Sam Smith, trying to use them to his advantage. Best lap of 2:09.117. He's well down the order. We'll see if he can do any better here. And the draft is very important to your lap times here. And yes, 2:07.606. That puts him 5th on the board. Much better lap there for Adam McNally, going well up the order. Sam Smith into 10th, and Nick Clibbins will stay 3rd place, it looks like. So Team X-Lite looking decent, I think, now that they've gotten a couple of good laps in. And here's Jason Cooper. Maybe just enough time, JP. He's a little ways back of his teammates, but maybe just enough to at least better that lap time.
Yeah, he'll definitely want so, because I don't think he's going to have enough time to make it to the line. As you can see, Lars Fischer now giving actually even more slipstream to his teammate Casper DeCourt, maybe trying to improve even that lap. Casper, let's see what he can do. Currently sitting at 2:07.0. He goes for a 2:07.1. Just barely not improving. Meanwhile, his teammates, Lars... Oh,
Jason
Cooper goes second. Wow.
It was just enough of a draft.
Oh, literally just enough. And it's not going to be pole, but I'm pretty sure, Andrew, he's going to be happy about that.
Michael Seal on a lap, and oh, look at this gaggle down to the bus stop. I don't think he's going any faster this lap. He's even got his mirror hanging off. He passes one of the 88 tech cars there through the bus stop. And, yep, that's his qualifying done. He is swerving. Thortillo, does he have a chance? He's through the bus stop. I don't see any help for him, though. There's Fiona Siddons. Fiona could get just a little bit of a toe off of him here and maybe pick up a little bit of time.
Yeah, maybe just too far away. You can see running a bit of the top line. Definitely not what you want, especially in a road car. You want to be as close to the yellow line as possible, unless you're setting up for a new lap, in which case you're going to have a bit more speed. But yeah, Fiona trying to improve this lap. Currently sitting at 2:10, just exiting the banking and just heading into the tri-oval. I don't think it's going to be enough, Andrew. Maybe just barely.
Not so much. Just a little bit off of her previous best time. And Fiona will stay put in the 20th position in qualifying. A few other cars on track. I'm not sure how many of them will actually be able to record in the lap time. It looks like Sam Smith will not, as he's over 2:09 already. Here's Liam Stimson, who might have a shot.
Might just exiting the bus stop. Now getting the slipstream.
Delmont
you can
says
see the
nope.
car behind, yeah. The car, and he says no too.
So I'm not sure there's really anybody else with a chance to go faster this lap. Gulliford into the West Horseshoe. I don't think he'd cross the line with enough time. Casper DeCourt and Jason Cooper are sending it as if they have a chance, and they just might. I thought they got to the line a little bit too late, but Casper may have gotten there just in time. So we'll see if maybe these two are able to put Casper DeCourt a little bit faster. Well, not with contact like that. I dare say they're just having fun out there.
Yeah, I think just practicing a little bit of the push and the pit entry. Something we should not see drivers using too much, but it's good practice nonetheless.
Craig Schill, Alistair Hatcher on the banking. And that should just about wrap up qualifying. While we've got you here waiting on qualifying to come to a close, let's remind everybody about some upcoming broadcasts here at Pit Stop TV, of course, I guess it hadn't updated just yet. But you see, Tuesday, today, obviously, we have BSR here at Daytona. Then tomorrow night, we've got a doubleheader at the exact same time, simultaneously covering the IRL IndyCar Series, Indy 500, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and the Outlaw Sim Series, round 13 of 36 at Martinsville Speedway. What's interesting about the number 13 of tomorrow is that's actually IRL's 13th Indy 500 for their 13th season, alongside round 13 for the Outlaw Sim Series. So a bit of play there with number 13. Hopefully it's not an unlucky one for those guys, as, well, everybody in the 500 is definitely going to need some good luck, JP.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a tricky track, such a tricky race, a difficult one, but it's part of the Triple Crown. You know, I think that's why we all love that racetrack, and we all love running Indy cars on it, especially for 500 miles, Andrew. It's a long race, but it sure is fun.
So our first grid of the day, of course, not impacted by those pesky inverts, but we will see some 26 cars take the green flag in this order. Casper DeCourt on pole. And just when it looked like maybe, just maybe, we wouldn't see a lockout on the front row from 5-Star Motorsport, well, they say, nope, we'll go ahead and take it. Jason Cooper goes second. Michael Seal, though, will start from the third position today in car 57, with Nick Clibben starting from fourth. Starting fifth, it's Lars Fischer, completing a 5-star top 5 between every single car, and Adam McNally will start from sixth. Starting seventh, you've got Adam Delmont, teammate to McNally and Clibbens, with Jamie Gulliford starting in eighth. James Neve rolls off ninth, and James Clark in 10th.
Starting row number 6, you're going to have Sam Smith on the inside alongside him, and Andrew, we're going to have Douglas Stewart in 12th place. 13th place in starting row number 7, we're going to have Julian Schroer and Alistair Hatcher on the outside. 15th place, actually, we're going to have Thor Tulo and Craig Shields. So Craig starting just behind his championship rival. Starting row number 9 is going to be Liam Stimson on the inside in 17th place, and on the outside in 18th, we're going to have Glenn Humberstone. In row number 10, Andrew, finally for 19th place, we're going to have Mark Oliver and Fiona Siddons.
Your back 6 starters, Duncan Cope, Andy McEwen. McEwen not able to qualify, it looks like, today. Cope at least had some laps, but no teammates. Chris Knox from the 23rd spot, Ashley Simpson 25th, and Liam Silkstone will tag on to the back of the grid, oddly being displayed in 26th. I wonder if a position's being skipped, and I think so. It's not showing 24th spot, weirdly enough. But anyways, we'll go with it. It looks like either 25 or 26 cars. We will find out here shortly as we get ready for racing. Already into the red lights, waiting on the starter signal to begin race number 1 from the Daytona International Speedway. Casper DeCourt on pole, Jason Cooper outside pole, and green flag is out in Florida. Oh, contact there. One of the Stimsons, I believe, making contact.
That was a big contact. He's going to be heading, looking upside down. Not upside down, but we can see another car.
Oh, that was Alistair.
Big damage. Oh, that is the worst start possible for Alistair. As you can see, Andrew, the rest of the field making their way through the kink and into the second horseshoe. 5-star leading up ahead, and they might have a top 3 soon.
Julian Schroer, Sam Smith also out of the race in the first few corners. But down to turn 6 for the first time. Your top 5 nice and clean. A bit of contact, though, maybe in 6. And the rest of the top 10 comes on through.
Now heading out of turn 6. You can see now into the bank.
Oh, one car around. It's Mark Oliver.
Mark Oliver spun around, and he's going to be losing quite a bit of time. You can see, Andrew, the two teammates going side by side through the banking. Not what they want, because they're allowing third place, and the rest of the field catching up to them, just as Daytona is. And you can see this little battle right here. We might see 3 wide action. You can see there Adam Delmon on the number 77 touching a little bit. Got my heart racing a little bit, Andrew, but they all sorted out before the bus stop. Adam in 4th place.
Fisher and Seal making a little bit of contact on the backstretch. McNally behind them. McNally going to have a run, it looks like, at Lars Fisher, maybe, and it's not quite enough. So up onto the making for the second time in this first race. 8 laps the distance. At least the expected distance for this first race. Fisher right up on Michael Steele. Now pulls out to the right side as Jason Cooper and Casper DeCourt are going to get to racing up front.
And is that Nick Clibbins coming to it? Yes, it is. You can see on the outside, he's going to take the lead. Can he lead lap 1? I think he just does it. Yeah, Nick Clibbins leading lap 1. You can see Dalmon to help him on the outside, but on the inside, we're going to have Casper DeCourt and Jason Cooper, who's going to hold the lead at the exit of turn 1. Casper kind of does a slide job when, well, retains that lead. Andrew Cooper still behind him.
Look at those guys battling through the S's here at Daytona. Down to the International Horseshoe. Delmont up the inside of Clibbins and almost getting there to the quarter panel of Jason Cooper as everybody else goes side by side behind him through the first horseshoe.
And Michael Steele is going to get 4th place as well. Nick Clibbins is going to lose 2 positions. He's going to have the inside through the kink. No, he's just going to back away and stick behind Nick Clibbins for the moment. You can see there the number 96 of Lars Fischer currently 7th place. Andrew, he can see his teammates, both of them actually in the first 2 positions. Do you think he's eager to get up there and, well, have fun with his teammates as well?
I would imagine so, but it's going to take a little bit of time. It looks like at least another lap or so. Now expecting 7 laps in this race. The look back from Casper DeCourt, your race leader, as Alistair Hatcher still in the pit lane, and Sam Smith gets back rolling for the first time in this race. Man, heartbreak for those two.
Yeah, absolutely not what you want to start off your day, Andrew. You really want a good start, and unfortunately for them, it has started off in the wrong foot. As you can see now, Adam Dalmon not wasting any time, going 3 wide, and I think he's going to have the lead. He's drag racing with Jason Cooper. He's going to have the inside line through the bus stop, and he's going to lead. But obviously, not what you want to lead out of the bus stop sometimes, is it, Andrew? You really want to be the 2nd or the 3rd car, because now you're going to see he's just going to be a sitting duck.
He's just got to be careful sometimes with those moves down to the bottom of the racetrack. In fact, everybody needs to be careful about the double yellow line as Michael Steele has a slowdown up on the top of the racetrack, giving up 8th place now, or 7th rather, to James Neve as Cooper and DeCourt go side by side, drafting up to Adam Delmont. You can see the 3 wide behind him.
Yeah, already good racing, Andrew. Drivers are not afraid. You can see there Lars Fischer trying to get into 4th place, and you can see that Casper DeCourt clears Adam Dalmon, and, well, he's going to lead this lap. Jason Cooper, meanwhile, set the fastest lap of the race, quickly beat by Jamie Gulliford. So, yeah, this is an interesting battle right here. Gulliford is the last car actually on this pack, so he's getting the best of the slipstream, but you can see they're going 2 wide almost for the lead.
Michael Steele drops all the way back to this battle with Chris Knox, Andy McEwen, and it looks like Silkstone, Schill, and more. This is your secondary group. We talk about primary, secondary, sometimes tertiary draft groups in the Daytona 500 sometimes. We're seeing exactly that in this race as you've got a couple of different groups here at Daytona. This is really interesting to see.
Yeah, absolutely. This second group needs the first one to start battling, to go side by side, to slow themselves down, to allow them to catch up. And obviously, they need to work together as well. There's no point if the first group slows down if you're slowing down battling as well. But as you can see there, Delmon once again, now he's leading into turn 6. He's going to squeeze Casper DeCourt a bit to the outside. He's going to lead heading out of turn 6. But Andrew, he was in Cooper's position on the previous lap. That's how he took the lead. And now Clibbins is going to have an absolutely amazing run out of the banking right here. Could he get the lead?
It seems like so far the move's coming from 3rd position, but maybe from 4th as Nick is going to have a good run on the backstretch. But 3 cars blocking him. He goes down to help Adam Delmont. It looks like he's going to give him a big push, cushions it a little bit, but still gives him a bump as they will go down to the bus stop. What do? Delmont sticks in it on the inside, side by side with Cooper there for the race lead.
Oh, and Delmon holds it around the outside beautifully, kind of squeezed Cooper out to the apex, forcing him to slow down a little bit. So, beautiful move there for Delmon to hold off the lead. You can see there Clibbins unfortunately got a bad run himself, and he's going to lose 4th place to Adam McNally, just closing in the door on Lars Fischer and getting back into the racing line. Up ahead, you can see there Cooper now being helped by his teammate Casper DeCourt. They're both going to clear, but look at this, Andrew. Now McNally's going to help his teammate as well.
Side by side, 5-star teammates ahead of Excite teammates. Your top 6, well, now Neve getting into the top 6, but otherwise your top 6, 3 and 3 between 5-star and Excite. And now you're starting to see the time for fun drivers get up here of Jamie Gulliford and James Neve. McEwen sneaking into the top 10, but running for year 1 here in the Miatas.
Yeah, McEwen is quite a bit further behind. You can see he
problems
just
for
got
Craig
into the
Schill.
shot. Oh, no.
So Alistair, Hatcher, and Craig Schill having problems. Hatcher has not left the pit lane since lap number 1. And Schill now with trouble. Here comes a pack of 3 cars going by. Duncan Cope, one of them. And they will do exactly that. He drops the 20th spot.
Oh, but at least he'll be running still injured. I think he's going to not be too, well, I guess, angry, frustrated to see he's still running and he's still in the lead lap, which is the most important to be eligible for the invert. That's what matters. And you can see out of here a bit of puff of smoke, maybe from just tires losing grip on the exit. But you can see now the last car on this pack injured, that's James Clark. He's currently sitting in 9th place, and he has all these cars up ahead of him, all of them getting slipstream. Do you think he's just waiting his time, or he's actually a bit stuck on this position?
I think if he wanted to, he could make a move for 1 or 2 spots, but it's tough when you're in the back of a group to really go too far, because obviously everybody else gets drafts, everybody else is going to make moves into big corners, so you've just got to wait for an opportunity here as our leaders are going to go 3 wide once more down the backstretch.
Once again, into the bus stop. Who's going to lead now? Casper DeCourt and looks like Cooper side by side. And now Delmon actually is going to go aggressive once again. And he's going to force Casper DeCourt, and he's going to have the inside line, and he's going to lead Andrew. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Delmon. He's being aggressive, but when he comes to the start-finish line, he's always in 2nd or 3rd place.
Well, and that's the thing about Daytona. Do you really want to lead out of the bus stop when you know the draft that everybody else is going to have out of that corner and up onto the banking? I think continually you're seeing 5-star test what they can do out of NASCAR turn 4 and draft up to the start-finish line and what they can do in a potential finish of the races. Here comes Lars Fischer to help out on the top side. You've got 3 versus 3 now, top versus bottom.
Yeah, look at that battle right there. And who's going to come out on top? Who's going to be braver? Cooper, who's been a bit safer, or Delmon? You can see there Cooper's going to break to the outside. He's going to force Delmon into the apex, but that's not going to be any match. You can see the 77 gets a good run and clears the number 1. And now his teammate is going to be trying to sneak into 2nd place to maybe help his teammate out. Going to the outside, you can see there McNally. Can he go around the outside of Cooper? He's definitely going to try to, both of them side by side out of the international horseshoe, but looks like Cooper's just going to have the edge.
McNally is still there. Side by side will go through the kink as Casper DeCourt looks on. Now Jason will have the inside for the West Horseshoe, but then the outside for turn number 6 back up onto the oval. McNally hanging on the left side, and now maybe Cooper having him clear. Yes.
Just barely, yeah. You can see McNally was trying to hold it around the outside just to have the inside for this corner. And you can see he goes a bit safer. That's going to check up everybody. And that's actually going to allow Lars Fischer to stick behind his teammate now into 5th place, overtaking Nick Clibbins.
He sent it to the inside of Clibbins.
Yeah, absolutely. Nick Clibbins, I think, was being a bit safe. And but I mean, Fischer didn't need a second invitation, moving himself up into 5th place. And now he's going to have his teammate up ahead to help him.
From McNally's car, watching Casper DeCourt. Give him a push now. It looks like maybe not. McNally goes a little bit high. Now low. Fakes out Cooper and gets pushed to the inside. 3 wide with Delmont and Cooper on the outside. Does Jason back out and let these 2 teammates fight? No. McNally backs out. Delmont gives the race lead to Cooper for a moment, but contact, it looks like.
Maybe a bit of door banging with Casper DeCourt on the apex, on the middle part of the bus stop. And that's actually going to allow maybe Delmon to have a good run, a good slingshot run into Cooper down into the start-finish line. You can see there Casper DeCourt looking to the outside, and you can see there Delmon as well looking to the outside. We're going to go through wide. Oh, a bit of contact. Everybody checks up. We're all still pointing the same direction. Now Nick Clibbins is involved as well. Lars Fischer is going to check up quite a bit and is going to lose a bunch of spots. 3 wide into the start-finish line.
It's not the end just yet, guys. 2 laps to go in race 1 at Daytona.
Still 2 laps to go, Andrew. These guys are racing as if it was the final lap for the championship and everybody was tied up on points. It's absolutely crazy. Cooper still leading out of turn 1. Delmon now in 2nd place, and looks like we're going to go single file all the way to 3rd place maybe, as we have 2, looks like Excite teammates battling in Nick Clibbins and McNally.
On board of James Clark, he was able to take advantage momentarily of Lars Fischer's mistake, and now going to fall back into the 9th position by just a nose to Lars Fischer. There he lets Lars go. Lars going to try to poke to the inside of Jamie Gulliford. This is for 7th. Lars try to get back up there and help his teammates out. And Ashley Stimson, I think, just spun through turn 1. Almost all the way. Oh, I see. Through the kink, almost all the way to actually cut part of the course. For a moment, it placed Ashley in the race lead, and I was very confused. But 2 laps to go through turn 6. Here we go. 5-star teammates in formation to take down Adam Delmont.
Yeah, but unfortunately behind them, there's, well, another Excite car. Andrew is going to be pretty much a 5-star sandwich. Actually, an Excite sandwich with a 5-star, I guess, middle part. But you can see we're going to have to wait and see which teams work best. Now you can see Casper Decor is going to have a huge bump actually to Cooper, and Cooper is going to clear Delmont even before the braking zone of the bus stop. And Delmont, well, he cannot do anything, can he? He just needs to wait it out and, well, pretty much watch it as Cooper, well, takes the racing line, takes first place, Andrew. Now it's one 5-star motorsport driver, one Excite, another 5-star, and another Excite.
Knox, McEwen, and Seal have caught these guys. You've got a continuous group now of 12 cars all the way down to car 57.
And now this is going to be interesting on the final lap. Can these guys actually take any advantage of the battle in the upper head? Can they move up? Just one lap to go, one lap to find out.
Jason Cooper, Casper DeCourt going side by side now. As, no, nose to tail actually. Here comes McNally with a run. Delmont, Clibbins backing up for turn 1. Cooper there, a big shot to Casper DeCourt. White flag presented by Whiplash Simcams.
And you can see there Chris Knox, that's the fast lap of the race, just catching up to these guys. 2 wide for 3 rows, I think it was momentarily. But you can see there Casper DeCourt is going to lead out of turn 1. And good for him, he's going to have his teammate just behind. But McNally and Delmont also are going to be in formation as we head into the International Horseshoe. This is going to be interesting, Andrew. Which team can work the best on this final lap? That could decide, well, pretty much the fate of the first race.
It's DeCourt, then Cooper, then Delmont, then McNally, side by side into the kink. Go cars 1 and 77. They sort that out now. There's a good look at the entire field down to the West Horseshoe. Lars Fischer up the inside, making up spots.
Lars definitely wants to be involved in this lead battle. He wants a chance, and you can see there a bit of contact with Nick Clibbins, was it? No, McNally, actually. And, well, he's going to move himself up into 4th place. McNally, though, is going to have the inside line through turn 6, and he's going to have that position on the exit. Further behind, you can see that Chris Knox and McEwen going side by side, approaching, looks like James Neve and James Clark.
This entire group of 12 racing rather aggressively. Now, Casper DeCourt with a slight lead, but how quickly does that dissolve? You see McNally and Cooper going to have a chance to close in the bus stop, but can they do so? They're going to race down to this corner. Side by side, McNally on the out, or Delmont rather, on the outside, Cooper on the inside. They swap spots quickly. Now Delmont with a chance here at Casper DeCourt. Jason Cooper going to have to deal with Adam McNally.
Yeah, but Cooper is staying further behind. This could give him a slingshot run, and that's exactly what he needs. You can see there Cooper and Delmont and Casper are going to go side by side. Delmont just in the slide edge of speed, and they're just going to decide this on the drag race. But currently, the 77 has the best run, and Cooper, I think, got a slowdown actually.
Side by side for the race win at Daytona. Race number 1 going to be decided by a matter of inches at the line. Casper DeCourt and Adam McNally, and Casper wins.
Oh, just by the slightest of margins. You can see there 19 thousandths of a second. Clark is going to finish in 3rd place, and as we have a huge crash between 2 drivers on the start-finish line. But what a fantastic final lap. Cooper, I think, got a slowdown, checked everybody up, and Clark looks like he needed no second invitation.
Casper picks right up where he left off last week at Road Atlanta, grabbing a race win. And James Clark in that finish may have to be reviewed. That may go back the other way. Let's get a look back at it, actually. I know Clark was on the apron at one point. I'm not sure if he was forced there. I'm not sure if he went there by choice. Let's go on board with him and see.
Let's see. You can see he gets a good run. Lars Fischer checking up. And now where does he go?
There are a lot of slowdowns here.
Yeah, quite a bit. Where does he go to avoid any instance?
That's purely by choice.
Oh, yeah. He wasn't forced to do that. And unfortunately, he's all the way down. Could that be a post-race penalty?
He might argue that he saw enough room to the inside of Neve. I'm not entirely sure. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I actually want to see this replay one more time, I think. Let's see, it was Clibbins that was ahead of them, so we can see the onboard from Clibbins' point of view. There was a crash with Chris Knox and one other there. I'd imagine Michael Seal. This is the view from Nick Clibbins. You'll be able to see if there's really any room at all for James Clark. It's not going to do a whole lot for us in our doings here, our dealings, but it'll make a big difference for the standings. I would argue there was not a full car there for James Clark. I would argue that's definitely an optional move.
Yeah, me too, Andrew. I don't think maybe just 3/4 of a car, but definitely not enough space to fit a whole Miata out there. And yeah, unfortunately, a good run was killed that way. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what the stewards decide.
Let's go ahead and bring up our spinny wheel, I suppose, for the first time today. And what do you reckon this one's going to be? You can see we've kept the smaller numbers even for here at Daytona, JP. Several options. You got a 15, a 9, a 21, a 13, and a 10 that are passing by. A 7, 11, 19, 8, and 10. Definitely some interesting options.
Yeah, I'm going to go for 8 on this one. Let's see if my luck is on point, and it might just be
close, actually. But I think it's going to stop there on 19, which is just going to go back to somebody who had some pretty terrible luck here in race 1, JP, and is definitely going to need this invert.
Is it Craig?
Yes.
Wow. He's going to like that. Well, wasn't it on race number 2 he won last season, or was it race number 3? Oh, so you see, the stars are lining up. Casper Decor definitely got the stars lining up his way as he wins race number 1 just by 20 thousandths of a second over Adam Delmont. James Clark is going to finish in 3rd place ahead of Nick Clibbins. James Neve is going to finish in 5th ahead of Jason Cooper, who actually exited the bus stop in 3rd place, but unfortunately got a slowdown. Andrew McEwen is going to finish in 7th place. Jamie Gulliford is going to win the Pro-M class in 8th ahead of Adam McNally and Lars Fisher.
Finishing 11th, you'll find Chris Knox, then Liam Silkstone and Liam Stimpson nose to tail there across the line. Michael Steele goes 14th. Thortullo will finish in the 15th spot. Fiona Siddons 16th, and Mark Oliver, Duncan Cope, and Craig Schill wrap things up. And it looks like Fiona will take the amateur race win just ahead, well, I say just ahead of Mark Oliver, 11 seconds ahead of Mark Oliver, Duncan Cope, and Craig Schill. Craig getting the benefit of the invert. Ashley Stimpson will be your first car, 1 lap down and first car out of the invert in 20th.
21st place goes the way of Sam Smith. Glenn Humberstone is going to finish in 22nd ahead of Douglas Stewart. Both of them 5 laps down. Alistair Hatcher, unfortunately, 6 laps down in 24th. And Julian Schroer, 7 laps down in 25th.
Race 1 in the books from Daytona. If that didn't get you excited, I'm not sure what will. We will take a step aside as per usual and get ready for race number 2 and a 19-car invert. It's only going to make things better, so if you like that, you got to stick around for 3 more races today at the Daytona International Speedway for the British Sim Racers Trophy Tuesdays MX-5 Series.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Absolutely. As now we see the drivers make their way into the pit boxes. Dobbs, Robertson, Kinder, Barlow going to go all through 4 of them and take his place on the first pit stall. Wide bracket falling in behind. As now we wait to see these 4 tires and fuel and who's going to be able to win off pit road first. Adam Lancaster drops the jack first. Alan Dobbs is going to get off away early as Lancaster is going to jump all the way up to 3rd with that, almost beat Robertson, and they make contact, and that is not what you want to see. That might be a pit exit violation on 28, but that is a very devastating blow to number 2 car. You got to hope he didn't get too much damage out of that, but that was a hard hit to the inside wall.
Down the straightaway, we'll get a replay here and show you that one again. That car was really consistent and really strong. I was thinking Robertson was going to be a big factor in the finish of this race. You see Adam Lancaster and Brandon Robertson coming out side by side from the exit of the pit lane, and there was for the completion of 4 fresh tires on that machine. Dobbs got him out of the pit lane, no question about that, but Lancaster got a really great pit stop, came out beside him, and just trying to have enough room between both himself and the wall and himself and Lancaster. Obviously, he misjudged how much room he had to his right side and just clipped that wall. Unfortunately, that's going to be a big blow for Brandon Robertson, but he should be able to get that car fixed up and maybe before we even get back to green flag racing, get it back on the grid.
So getting on pit lane is going to matter a lot. Getting off of pit lane is going to matter a bunch as well. And we also see that margin from 2nd and 3rd starting to close up on the race leader, Jesse Webb. We were talking about the headlights. He was making good use of them there, trying to warn, oh, trouble in front of him. Look out, that's right in front of the leader. He somehow gets by after the 2 lap cars tangle in turn 1.
It looked like Gergois might have gotten on the brakes a little bit too hard, and he will collect Mick Blue as a result. Not too much critical damage for these drivers, but handling is sure to be an issue.
So Gergois, the car that got into the back of Mick Blue, who perhaps was maybe trying to yield to the leader, who was warning that he was en route and on the way. And Mick Blue also ended up spinning around. They now fall a lap behind the leader, who, what a job, though, by Jesse Webb to slam on the brakes as they all came into turn number 1 with a full head of steam. And due to where Gergois' car spun on the pavement as we back into the barrier here on board with Mick Blue, looks as though that Webb is going to live to fight another day. Here it is out the back of Gergois' car, and here comes Webb. Deep down to turn number 1, just right into the back of Mick Blue, and there goes Webb, able to squeeze on by, and just like that, that is how quickly things can come undone for the front runners in lap traffic.
Welcome back to the virtual Daytona International Speedway, the world center of racing. And man, it really does live up to the aura, doesn't it? And we can see just how spectacular this place looks in the B-roll even, JP. It just looks so cool. And when you pull up to this place in real life as well, it's got a certain special something about it. You pull up, you see the massive grandstands that are taller than any football or baseball stadium you could think of just about, and it just has something special to it.
I wish I could say how it is to looking in person, Andrew. Unfortunately, I'm limited to the virtual world, and obviously Yeah, one day, definitely. Hopefully, next year it will be my year to go there and see a race, but it certainly looks stunning. Even from live broadcast from the Daytona 500, even like this, it looks absolutely spectacular. And I'm pretty sure the drivers love it as well. I mean, it's a fantastic racetrack. It's just so challenging, It's not only down to pace, but also obviously your strategy to overtake, which is really interesting. And, well, he certainly sets us up for amazing finales, just like the one we had in race 1.
Yeah, it was a great finish there in that first race. Casper DeCourt taking top honor in it. Fiona Siddons won in amateur, and honestly, it escapes me now who won in Pro-Am, but I'd imagine it was Jamie Gulliford in car 599. He was there, and I don't think he was bested by anybody up front, at least in the Pro-Am category. So race 2, I think, is going to be very, very fun. 19 cars being inverted, but I don't think every car returned. So I think maybe, unfortunately, some drivers may be a little bit upset with how race 1 went and deciding that's it for their day, and they don't want to keep going with this draft battle thing. So we're actually down to 22 cars now in race number 2, it looks like. And again, 19 of those being inverter. We'll see exactly where everybody lines up here as we take to the grid in race number 2. Craig Schill on pole, Duncan Cope second, starting third. You'll find Mark Oliver, then Fiona Siddons. Thortillo will start from the 5th spot, then in Liam Stimson. Liam Silkstone rolls off 7th, then Chris Knox. Lars Fisher and Adam McNally will complete your top 10.
11th place, we're going to have Jamie Gulliford alongside of him, Andrew McEwen in the 12th place. 13th spot, we're going to have Jason Cooper alongside of him, James Neve in 14th. Row number 8, we're going to have on the inside lane, Nick Clemens in the number 77 of Adam Dalman in 16th place. 17th place, we're going to have Casper DeCourt and Ashley Stimson alongside him in 18th. Those are in inverts. Sam Smith in 19th place and Glenn Humberstone in 20th.
The invert actually stopped at position 17 with Casper DeCourt. Stimson and Smith were further back. So 2 drivers that finished in the invert actually, two drivers in the invert not showing here for race number 2. Red lights are on, and green lights shall be following. Craig Schill on pole for race 2, and we are off and away at Daytona. Clean through the International Horseshoe this time, JP. A much better start to race number 2. Glenn Humberstone, though, in the back. He's got a lot of cars to look at as they go to the kink.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to have a full front windscreen, I guess you can say. But as we head into the second horseshoe, Andrew, you can see right here, just a lot of cars going around. A bit of contact. I saw a bit of puff of smoke over there, but looks like everybody makes it through still. Quite safe. I guess safer than lap 1 we had. Oh, as we see a big move. Is that Fiona Siddons going for it?
I'm not entirely sure. I didn't see what you were talking about there into turn 6. There's a lot of going on in the back, though. The 5-star teammates really doing some work back there, getting in line and trying to move their way through this field. You can see Casper DeCourt and Jason Cooper. Here's those 3 wide with Fiona Siddons, Andy McEwen, and Adam McNally. Now the bottom is clear. Fiona doesn't want to go down. Andy comes up the racetrack, and our leaders will go down to the bus stop. Teammates out front, as here comes Liam Stimson to the inside.
You can see down into the bus stop, gets the position. Can he get it slowed down?
Just barely, and he will cut the course.
Yeah, he's going to have a big slowdown penalty. A bold move, unfortunately, did not work out for him, Andrew, and he's going to be losing a bunch of positions.
And he's got a cone underneath the right front. At least he did when he exited the bus stop down into 3rd, and he's going to have to give it more time. Here comes Chris Knox. Thortillo squeezing. Duncan Cope there as well. And it looks like maybe that cone cleared itself, but he had a cone anyways. Look at this gaggle as we come down to the start-finish line for lap number 1.
Oh, that is a great shot to see so many cars, 3 wide action, you can see. And we're going to have 2 amateur drivers actually leading the race. Andrew, Chris Knox in third, the first pro driver, and Thor Tula, the first pro-am. As you can see here, big braking zones. Good, we see a bit of contact almost twice right there.
Whoa.
Delmont getting forced really off.
Delmont went way wide. Fiona Siddons went with him. Nearly contacts. Our leaders are side by side. Oliver and Schill with Chris Knox behind. Tullo backs up the corner, and McEwen has to go to the inside for a moment, trying to miss him as Fiona gets turned around.
Oh no, just on the horseshoe. You're going to be dropping all the way back, maybe even to last place. As you can see up ahead, Mark Oliver still leading. Chris Knox just went around the outside of Craig Schill, and he's going to go straight up to the inside of Mark Oliver, wasting no time to lead this race. That's the aggressive nature we like from Chris Knox, isn't it, Andrew?
And I have some sneaking suspicion that he's going to do his best to control this race, JP. Once he's out front, he does not like to go away from being out. He doesn't like to lose that lead. Nobody does, but him especially. He's going to make it difficult to pass as we go down to the bus stop this time. Once again, expecting 7 laps in each of these races. This is lap number 2. The weather in this race, JP, the wind is picked up. The temp's the same.
Yeah, temperature's the same. The wind, not quite sure if it's going to affect these drivers too much. Maybe a bit of headwind could give the driver behind a bit of a speed advantage on the slipstream, but we're just going to have to wait and see. Up ahead, you can see Craig Schill now takes the lead down the inside of the bus stop, and, well, looks like Chris Knox takes a bit easier, thinking about maybe lining his exit already, Andrew, out of the bus stop into the start-finish line.
Oh, contact! James Neve around. Sam Smith along with him. They're down in the grass on the inside, out of the bus stop. Fiona Siddons will go by those two, and so does Ashley Stimpson.
And just right now, he's rejoining the racetrack. Unfortunately, they're going to be losing quite a bit of time. Chris Knox, meanwhile, retakes the lead. As you can see, we're going to go 3 wide. Oh, a bit of contact right there. Was that McNally?
One car down low, and that is McNally backing up, it looks like. Across the line, it's Knox and McEwen. Oh, a shot there from Craig Schill. Craig is definitely racing like he wants to win this thing. He is really going after it with these guys.
Yeah, he already won once overall in this racetrack, so he kind of knows the strategy, Andrew. He knows that he cannot be dropping way too far back. He needs to keep in touch with these two right here if he wants a shot.
Oh, and he hits McEwen, goes wide. There goes Thortula to the inside, and more contact behind. Lars Fisher, Duncan Cope.
That is exactly what he doesn't need, and he's going to be dropping quite a bit. And as you mentioned, a bit of contact further behind. Looks like the horseshoe is catching a few of the drivers out tonight.
3 wide there. Rather intelligently, Lars Fisher backs out, following Duncan Cope and Adam Delmont. As now Thortilla, the top 88 tech car. There's 3 of them here in a line. Schill, Oliver, and Silkstone. And you know who one of the cars is that did not show? Oh, never mind. I was going to say maybe Alistair Hatcher, but Alistair is in the field. He's only in 16th, though. He is way back here. So if Craig continues this run in this race, JP, he could be in trouble.
Could be, but we're just going to have to wait and see. Currently 16th. Already made up a few spots on this lap alone, I think it was. Did he make 5 spots in this lap? As high as 21st? Did not update yet. Maybe just a good lap, but Andrew, so far it's been good, and he needs to do better. I mean, Craig is all the way up in 4th place, winning the class. So far has been Craig's day so far, and Alistair needs to fight back.
McEwen now leading the race. Chris Knox in 2nd. Thortilla going to have a look, maybe. After the last few weeks McEwen has had, he really needs this one to go right.
Yeah, he really needs to, and you can see he's trying his best to stay in the lead of the race, and, well, he's going to take that lead of the race, and it looks like Thortula might follow him soon down into the yellow line, and you can see there McEwen sliding on back, a 3-train, essentially 3-car train down into the start-finish line. McEwen's going to give, he's going to give, what was that? Sorry, I missed.
The International Horseshoe, Chris Knox leading the race now over Andy McEwen. McEwen has had a really terrible couple of weeks. Craig Schill there, contact from Adam Delmont. And some side-by-sides for the back is now a side-by-side for second sparking up. One car through the grass. That was Craig Schill again. He's racing with a chip on his shoulder, JP. He knows what he did race 2 last season, and he knows he can go do it again.
Yeah, he knows the potential is there to win this race. He knows he's close to do it, and he's just taking everything. Oh, Delmont kind of just appeared out of nowhere, essentially. Even caught Craig Schill out a bit, I think so. And, well, he moved back now into 5th place. You can see up behind. Is that Mark Oliver? No, that's Liam Silkstone, isn't it?
Oliver put a block on him, though. Silkstone said, nope, thank you. I'm to the inside anyways. I'll be taking that spot as he now goes up in front of Oliver, comes down in front of Delmont. Oh, in contact with Oliver and Delmont. Oliver pops the brakes, now comes down onto Casper the Court.
Wow, that was aggressive. That could have been way dangerous. Could have been race ending for quite a few people, but they all keep pointing the same direction. Meanwhile, McEwen down the inside cuts essentially the nose of Chris Knox and into the bus stop. Looks like they'll go, and the number 4 will be leading this part of the lap. Andrew now into the bus stop on the exit. It's all that matters. Looks like McEwen got a better line, but Knox is just going to have the slipstream, and he's just going to have the speed advantage.
And there goes Knox as McEwen gives the spot up. He knows what the situation is with this draft. He wants to get back in line here and stay behind Chris Knox. Playing leapfrog out front of these two. And oh, that moves Knox at the racetrack. McEwen going to take advantage.
Yeah, he's just going to go down the inside, and you can see there Thortulo is going to help him. Meanwhile, it looks like Delmont, well, he's not going to help anyone. He's going to help himself.
Once again,
and,
just saying hello there.
Hello there, and just gone. Pretty much the number 77 leads that lap, and he's going to be leading down into turn number 1. Andrew, we know how fast he is, how good he is at defending. He's on the perfect position. Meanwhile, the number 1 Cooper way behind. You can see just Mark Oliver was that defending from him.
And look at this 3 wide. Clibbins gives up a position there to Jamie Gulliford. Back on board with, well, still on board with Jason Gibber now looking out the front. Oliver up the inside again. These 88 Tech guys have gotten real aggressive. They know the opportunity in front of them here at Daytona. Everybody does. And 88 Tech, no slouches today, trying to take advantages. Oh, well, unfortunately, one of them spinning there. Glenn Humberstone in the back. Yeah,
unfortunately, Glenn is going to be out of this battle right here. As you can see there, McEwen and Delmont. McEwen goes deep. He's going to have a good run out of the corner, maybe. You see there, Chris Knox almost taking advantage of it. Meanwhile, Cooper going side by side with Silkstone, looks like. No, that's Oliver. Still, Silkstone just ahead, battling his teammate, Casper the Court, now into turn number 6. And you can see Mark Oliver not afraid at all, Andrew, to go side by side down the inside, actually, of the reigning champion.
You see this group of cars back up onto the making. Nick Clibbins racing there with Jamie Gulliford. And he'll now fall in line behind car 599. One car still up top. That's Lars Fisher. He drops in behind Mark Oliver as Adam Delmont, Andy McEwen do battle on the backstretch. Look at these, the guys.
3 wide, essentially looking like a stare there. And you can see there Chris Knox on the inside. He's going to outbreak everybody, and he's going to lead the group into the bus stop. Delmont still in 3rd place. He's going to try to get a good line out of the corner, try to get a bit of slipstream to McEwen as well, and to see if both of them can actually move back into 1st place. And Andrew, the last car on that lead battle, Craig Schill.
Just hanging on. We'll have 2 laps to go this time by, unless this race gets extended by 1 lap, but it's actually close, JP. We might get an extra lap, an 8th lap in this race. We'll see across the line as Delmont leapfrogs out front. The leaders in this race a little bit quicker this time, leapfrogging a lot more, conserving momentum. We might squeeze out an extra lap.
Yeah, if they keep this pace up, we might certainly do so. Obviously, if they start battling like this, side by side, and avoiding contact, essentially, we might not. Meanwhile, Casper the Court goes down the inside. You can see there Cooper being forced to the outside. Even McNally might get past him. You can see a lot of cars, actually, Andrew, going wide.
Oh, Silkstone turns Cooper. Jason Cooper down into the grass, saves the car. Certainly much better than Liam Silkstone did, but gets turned nonetheless. Silkstone gets back on the track. And our leader is starting to put a couple of tenths on the rest of the field, at least for a moment, is now Delmont using the draft to drive right back up to him.
Yeah, just using that momentum to essentially clear. But once again, as you mentioned, the draft just brings them on back. And you can see that Craig Schill still in this battle, just winning the winning the amateur class, actually, Andrew, quite comfortably. And you can see there McEwen now heading into 6. He's going to lead this part. And you can see there Delmont just behind. Knox still out there. But it's pretty much a monopoly. Just these 3 are having the opportunities. So Thortulo and Craig Schill, it looks like they cannot get too close to the lead.
I really think you might want to be third. I think Chris Knox is in the perfect spot. I think you might want to be third with the way these races typically go. As here comes Delmont around the outside. And he will lead into the bus stop, which means McEwen should have the run out of the bus stop, but we'll see if Knox can say anything about it. Knox to the inside of the bus stop, and he goes by Andy McEwen. So McEwen now where I think you want to be.
Yeah, McEwen might just have the best opportunity because Chris is going to catch up to Delmont mid-banking, I think, into turn 4. And McEwen, well, he's going to have to draft all the way down to the start-finish line, so he might have the best speed, and he might have the best run possible. We're going to keep on board to see if that actually comes to fruition. But, yeah, you can see just closing more than what Chris Knox is. And now Chris, well, he's punching the air, and McEwen is still on the slipstream.
And we will get, it looks like, the white flag presented by Whiplash Simcams right there. So it is just one more lap, I believe. Yeah, timing at least should dictate that, but it might go for an extra. McEwen wide in turn 1. Here comes Thortillo and and Craig Schill. Lars Fischer leading this group further back as one car goes wide. A lot going on at Daytona on the final lap.
And now Craig Schill moves himself up into 4th place. If he can get past McEwen before we head into the banking area, even before we start breaking into the bus stop, he might be in the perfect opportunity to take that lead. But Andrew looks like he's falling quite a bit, 1.1 seconds away from the lead. He needs to get closer than that.
Well, that's just the lead, of course, not to Andy McEwen. He only needs to maintain that 1 second gap to McEwen as they exit turn 6. If he does so, he'll be fine. Certainly, by the time they get to the bus stop and get out of the bus stop, I think he'll be fine and lunges into turn 6. Needs to back that corner up maybe a little more, but nonetheless, car 982 perfectly in position to play a move here at the end. You see Chris Knox knows what's going to happen here. He's up to the top of the racetrack defending.
Yeah, but does he let Delmont go maybe into the bus stop? Does he let even McEwen go as well? He needs to play this to perfection. Currently, he's leading. It's not the position we want it to be on the final. He drops all the way. Oh, and Craig actually is going to lead this one. Knox
Adam,
comes
Andy,
back.
Chris, they all know what's going to happen here out of the corner.
Yeah, and you can see there Craig just trying to leave a bit of a gap.
Oh,
Knox
Adam!
backs him up way too much.
Oh, this is going to be good. Thortillo on the outside of Andy McEwen. McEwen behind Delmont. Knox gets way out in front of these guys. He's a sitting duck. Thortillo with no help. Craig Schill's going to have to throw a mad block here. It's coming to the start-finish line. Delmont goes high. Where does Craig go? He's going to wait. He's going to use the draft. Coming up to Chris Knox. Now kind of fades up to the top side. McEwen pushing Delmont. McEwen now going to look high for himself. And to the line will go 4 wide. And it looks like Delmont gets turned. McEwen's going to win race 2.
Ah, what a final lap. What a final straightaway. Wow, I cannot believe they made contact, Andrew, and Delmont's going to finish all the way down in 8th place. Chris is going to finish somehow in 4th. Looks like he finished the race mid-spin. Wow.
Alrighty then. Every car in this race will finish on the lead lap, even Alistair Hatcher, who's all the way down here in 22nd, which, JP, that means every car in this race eligible for an invert. So McEwen could start dead last, and Craig Schill on the final lap is posted for a penalty and will be credited with last.
Oh no, on the final lap. Could that be due to that 4X contact he had with Chris Knox on the bus stop?
May have also cut some time. Wow. Oh, teammates there.
Oh.
Glenn digs into the grass, goes for a flip, and I think Craig is definitely disgusted at the penalty. And I can't blame him for not being happy, but let's take a look back and really diagnose this.
So this is the run. You can see heading into the bus stop. Chris goes all the way below the yellow line to break the slipstream, and then he just parks it, essentially.
Right there, maybe a little bit of time cut, maybe on the exit here. It had to be either incidents or the first apex. Or I guess second?
But you don't think it's... yeah, incidents points, yeah, you mentioned. But, yeah, Chris just tried to park it to, well, pretty much block everybody, obviously, from getting a good run. And that ended up backfiring on him because, Andrew, pretty much everybody got a good run out of him. And everybody I think was going to pass him except maybe Thortulo.
And this was the run to the line. Craig Schill up the middle, catches Adam Delmont. So I think even before the penalty is applied there for time, for whatever reason, I think definitely Craig Schill is going to get a DSQ from this race just for that contact at the end alone.
Yeah, I completely misread this contact. I actually forgot about it. So, yeah, it could even be to this one. It could be a post-race penalty, as you mentioned. So, unfortunately, Andrew, good run from Craig. Well, it didn't come to fruition. Who ended up winning, though, and who ended up getting the perfect run out of the corner was Andrew McEwen. And now, obviously, to the spinning wheel, every single car is going to be eligible. And now I'm going to let you take a guess.
8. Maybe, I don't know. It's going to go on by 8. It's going to give us 10 or a full, and it's going to give us 10. I was at least close-ish.
Yeah. I bet on 8 too, and I got 19, so there you go. We're on the same page.
I was a little closer. In fact, we were both one panel off, I suppose, but I think 10 is a little closer to 8 than 19, but close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, and 10 cars the invert then. That's only going to go down through Mark Oliver. Let's go back into the sim quickly and check out who is starting where. Who finishes where in race 2 and who's starting where for race 3.
So only 10 inverts means that only this page, Andrew, will be inverted. McEwen wins race number 2, so he's going to start in 10th place. Ahead of Thortulo, who wins the Pro-Am class in 2nd place. Chris Knox comes home in 3rd place ahead of Lars Fischer and Casper DeCourt. Adam McNally is going to finish in 6th place ahead of the 77 of Adam Delmon, who actually finishes in 7th place. Jamie Gulliford is going to finish in 8th ahead of Nick Clibbins, and Mark Oliver is going to win the amateur class down in 10th.
Yeah, so Craig loses the amateur win and gives it up to his teammate Mark Oliver, and that's going to be big. And now Craig's not even going to get credit for that race, and Alistair might even get... Alistair gets a slight edge in this race at least, but it's still going to be tough when you look at how race 1 went for Alistair versus Craig Schill. Finishing 11th, though, you'll find Liam Stimson just one spot out of the invert, then Duncan Cope, Jason Cooper with a lot of troubles in race 2, Douglas Stewart, Liam Silkstone, Glenn Humberstone, Ashley Stimson, Fiona Siddons way back here in 18th, then James Neve and Sam Smith completing your top 20.
21st place, we're going to have Alistair Hatcher and Craig Schill, as you mentioned, Andrew. Post-race penalty dropped all the way down to last place in 22nd.
Andy McEwen just won race number 2, JP, and that's his first race win, by the way, since race number 3 at Mosport. Here is driver of the 4 car and most recent race winner.
So, McEwen, how does it feel to be back on victory lane?
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? The last couple of weeks have not been my best, I'll be completely honest. So, yeah, I feel like Daytona owed me one after a bit of a bad run here a season ago. And, you guys know I love this kind of racing. I love my drafting, my NASCAR style stuff. And, yeah, feels good to finally come out on top of one of these.
And how much practice did you have just lining up this last lap move that you just had?
Yeah, a little bit. Obviously, we raced on a Monday night, a few of us, as a bit of a practice night, and I kind of had an idea after last night where I wanted to be, where you kind of have to be on the last lap to make it work. But then, of course, you get down to that last lap and everyone's got their own agenda, so you kind of have to react. So when Adam Delmont ran into the back of one of the 88 Tech cars, that I thought had completely messed the whole thing up, but as it happens, I was able to time it out right, and yeah, I know there was a bit of contact at the line, but I think I would have got there anyway, but yeah, thankfully that made certain of it.
And how are you balancing the sometimes the need to be aggressive to get the positions, and obviously those moments there you need to back off? How are you balancing those situations?
It's really difficult as a driver to convince yourself to lift going down the straight, but that's exactly what everyone was doing on that last lap. We were like half throttle down the back stretch, and because no one wanted to be in the lead, so you've kind of got to be prepared to play those games. But honestly, for the first 14 minutes of the race, I'm not even being aggressive. As long as I'm in the lead draft, inside the top 4 or 5, there's just no point. If someone wants to come sailing up your inside on the infield, just let them go, because you're going to get them back down the straights. It's a really tactical style of racing, and I really enjoy that.
And now starting race number 3 down in 10th place. I mean, what's going to be the strategy early on? Just try to get through it, or maybe a little bit of aggression here and there just to make sure you get up to those, let's say, top 5 to the lead battle?
Yeah, I mean, I think 10th I can live with. That's not bad at all. I think I started the first race 23rd third after an EXQ, and that last one I was some way back as well. So, like I say, if you're in the lead draft, which here is probably the top 10 anyway, you don't really have to take too many risks on cold tyres. So, unless I really have to, I think I'll take it quite easy and, stay out of trouble and try and be there at the end again.
Well, absolutely. With that being said, Andrew, we're going to definitely keep an eye out for you on race number 3 and, well, put on some good moves for us down up here in the commentary booth.
Oh, it's going to be a show. I think all 4 races tonight will be a show. You'll enjoy yourselves.
Oh, we already are enjoying ourselves. So best of luck, McEwen, and we'll see you later.
Yep, see you later, guys.
So Andrew, that was the other Andrew who just came out of victory lane. That's interesting to say, but yeah, sounds happy and sounds confident for race number 3 as well.
And on the other end, somebody who was up in this front running, but does not finish there is Craig Schill. Craig, what happened?
Instant points. Plain and simple. I was a little bit overly aggressive, shall we say.
Yeah, we saw you definitely forcing the issue that entire race. I think knowing, obviously, your abilities at Daytona, what you did last season at Daytona, and the opportunity to make up points over Alistair Hatch, who had issues on lap 1, how important is it to maximize when you see one of your guys that you're, I mean, obviously it's your teammate, you don't want to wish him an ill result, but you obviously will take it where you can get it and try and maximize your result when you do see it. How important is it to force the issue then?
Yeah, obviously last season I had a really good run here, so I had that in the back of my mind, and then when the spinny wheel gave me 19th and pole for this race, I was like, could this repeat itself? So I just had to go for it. There was no half measures or anything, and I'd like to say sorry to Adam Delmont for not just slightly touching him. I got a bit too good a run off Chris Knox, and that's what sent me over the incident limit. But hey ho, 2 more races to go.
So how do you try and approach this now, knowing you're going to be starting from the back of the grid, 22nd, and, well, now knowing definitely that you probably have a DSQ for that race as well, do you try and still maximize what you can here, or just kind of take what you can get right in the back?
If the pack stays together, like it should do, then there's nothing stopping me from working my way up. Obviously, yeah, I would like to finish in front of Ali, but we both kind of in agreement that whoever wins it, they win it fair and square. So I'm not going to fight him too hard. If he's got pace on me, I'll let him have it. I'm not going to do anything to ruin his race or anyone else's.
Well, there you go, Craig Schill. Not at all the results you wanted, but hey, the high there and the start at both first plays, that's always a highlight when you're able to put that up, especially the high. And only as low as 5th in a race where you finish 22nd. That's going to be one of the more, I think, unique stat lines of the season. Congratulations on a good run. Obviously not a good result, but best of luck to you here in races 3 and 4.
Thank you very much.
Craig Schill, with, again, one of the more interesting stat lines you'll see all season. Only as low as 5th JP, but, well, he finished 22nd.
Yeah, that is certainly interesting, and definitely not the result he wanted, and just so close to actually coming home actually to win race number 2, just like he did last time out, but it wasn't his race, but he still has 2 races to bounce back.
So we'll get ready then for one more intermission and 2 more races. If you've enjoyed it to this point, you know, we'll take a like if you can, spare us one. But we'll also take the view the rest of the day. We really need you guys to stick around for this one. We got a lot of great racing on the way. Again, 2 more races, 7, maybe 8 laps apiece if they get the pace going right. And definitely, I think, a lot more spills and some more great finishes. We've already seen 2 today, and we're bound to see 2 more, and then 4 more on Thursday when we come back here with the touring cars. You'll definitely want to stick around. We'll see you in just a few moments for race number 3 from Daytona.
pit boxes. Dobbs, Robertson, Kinder, Barlow going to go all through 4 of them and take his place on the first pit stall wide bracket, falling in behind. As now we wait to see these 4 tires in fuel and who's going to be able to win off here first. Adam Lancaster drops Jack first. Alan Dobbs going to get off away early as Lancaster is going to jump all the way up to 3rd with that.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy. Absolutely. As now we see the drivers make their way into the pit boxes. Dobbs, Robertson, Kinder, Barlow going to go all through 4 of them and take his place on the first pit stall wide bracket, falling in behind. As now we wait to see these 4 tires in fuel and who's going to be able to win off payroll first. Adam Lancaster drops to Jack first. Alan Dobbs going to get off away early as Lancaster is going to jump all the way up to 3rd with that, almost beat
Robertson, and they make contact, and that is not what you want to see. That might be a pit exit violation on 28, but that is a very devastating blow to number 2 car. You got to hope he didn't get too much damage out of that, but that was a hard hit to the inside wall.
Down the straightaway, we'll get a replay here and show you that one again. That car was really consistent and really strong. I was thinking Robertson was going to be a big factor in the finish of this race. You see Adam Lancaster and Brandon Robertson coming out side by side from the exit of the pit lane, and there was for the completion of 4 fresh tires on that machine. Dobbs got him out of the pit lane, no question about that, but Lancaster got a really great pit stop, came out beside him, and just trying to have enough room between both himself and the wall and himself and Lancaster. Obviously, he misjudged how much room he had to his right side and just clipped that wall. Unfortunately, that's going to be a big blow for Brandon Robertson, but he should be able to get that car fixed up and maybe before we even get back to green flag racing, get it back on the grid.
So getting on pit lane is going to Matt.
Unfortunately, we've got to cut your coverage of our old certified oof moments just a little bit short. I do want to just go ahead and get this out of the way first and foremost. We are having a couple of session issues, it looks like, for race number 3. But while we have that happening, JP, we're going to turn things over to the one, the only Liam Silkstone. He's had a bit of an interesting day, as per usual, it seems like, for Liam. But he's ready to go ahead and talk to you, JP, and I think he could have some interesting insight as to races 1 and 2.
So, Liam, as Andrew just alluded to, you had quite an interesting day, as you usually do. Talk us through it.
Yeah, race 1, didn't qualify because, I don't know, draft track, I thought I'd just sit at the back. So sat there, chilled out, my mic wasn't working and my team were shouting at me, and I'd put the pink port in the wrong thing on my PC because I'm colourblind, great fun. So worked my way up to about P10 with my teammate, working together. Race 2, trying to just hold Casper and Lars and Jason up. Did an alright job, to be fair, and then we had a bit of a coming together with Jason, which was just a racing incident, I hope. But no, I've been enjoying it. Good track, just keeping clean-ish. So yeah, can't whinge.
And how difficult is it sometimes, avoid instances? We saw your contact with Jason, and obviously, heading into turn 1 was such a massive speed, and getting the car slowed down and turned in, it's quite a tricky challenge. But how do you sometimes balance that aggression?
It's more of just everyone when the people that were quite quick and we all can give each other space, I think was what it was. We'd gone 3 wide into turn 1 because it's wide enough for 5 cars, but then we've come into that little right-left kink and it's only wide enough for about 2 and we're still 3 wide, and I've come off worst, so it's just one of them.
And now heading into race number 3, still 50% of racing left. I mean, what are your expectations?
Hopefully finish. Trying to help the Excite cars to get to the front. We're just waiting on the session because of technical difficulties. But yeah, we'll get there and hopefully we'll be at the front.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to keep an eye out for you, Liam. Best of luck on the final 2 races, and we'll make some good moves for us, please. And we'll talk to you later.
Don't worry. You'll see some good moves. It might be backwards, but it'll be good moves.
Certainly. Thank you, Liam, for your time, and best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, Andrew, that's Liam. Always a pleasure to talk to him. Funny lad. And, hopefully his race number 3 will go, I guess, a bit better. And who knows, maybe we'll see him in the top 5.
I think he's definitely a contender for any position in these races, especially at Daytona International Speedway. He can always be considered for literally any spot in the grid. It does seem like we're going to have a slight wait, so what we do want to do, once again, before we go back to intermission and play more certified oof moments for you to enjoy, is remind you of some upcoming broadcasts here at Pit Stop TV. In case for some reason this is your stopping point in watching today, this is what we have coming up throughout the rest of the week, JP. Tomorrow night, it's a doubleheader, simultaneous broadcast, the IORL IndyCar Series, the International Online Racing League IndyCar Series from Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Indianapolis 500. Then at the same time, we have round 13 for the Outlaws Sim Series at Martinsville Speedway. And Thursday, we're right back here at Daytona with BSR TC at 8 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. Eastern as we approach round 9 for them as well. Round 9 of 10 for both BSR MX-5 and BSR TC racing. It's getting down to crunch time.
Yeah, absolutely. The final 2 rounds, I mean, are certainly going to be exciting, especially when the second to last round is Daytona, Andrew. Such I guess, an off race. You know, it's so difficult to judge who's the fastest driver, and obviously strategy comes alive, and it's certainly interesting. It definitely shakes up for a very interesting season finale.
Yeah, Sebring in a week's time is going to be rather interesting. Certainly exciting, I think. Definitely plenty of passing opportunities there. Plenty of opportunities, though, as well to run wide, run off track, whatever. Does seem some drivers using this opportunity for a little bit more practice. Alistair Hatcher on track, but this session that we are currently in will not be used for racing. So Duncan Cope, Craig Show, Glenn Humberstone, Alistair Hatcher, Mark Oliver, if any of you are listening, this session, per admins in Discord, will not be used for racing for race number 3. They're experiencing some technical difficulties, some hurdles, some turtle curbs, if you will, as we used to have here at Daytona. Yeah, this session that we are currently in will not be used for racing. So again, Duncan Cope, Craig Schwell, Duncan Cope, and all of 88 Tech that it's currently in the session with us. We can see you guys in here. This is not being used for racing. If you're getting practice, by all means, go for it. But this is not being used for the race. So we will go back to intermission and let the admins have their time to do things. In the meantime, enjoy some older certified oof moments from older coverage from Pit Stop TV, some older leagues as well, and we'll be right back to you in a few moments.
Absolutely. As now we see the drivers make their way into the pit boxes.
Going to be
On the race leader, Jesse.
Able to get that thing fired up really quick, Jesdal.
Yeah, that was Jesdal. He goes around out of 7. That's what I was saying. He is the reason this all happened. So Jesdal has this spin, and wow, he just got on the power, I think, too much in that compression and spun the car around. And suddenly, here comes Nate Siefker, and Siefker's just got this big head of steam. It goes off track to clear him, and then gets punted off for doing so. I'm not sure that was intentional from Jesdal. I think it just ended up happening that way. Of course, Siefker going off track like that probably is already on the binders as soon as he gets back to the black there. And Jesdal just wasn't ready. Let's put that behind us. We've got to restart to focus on 2 laps to go. It's green-white checkered. Out of 100 laps, we now have 2 more to go to make it 104. Anthony Masadi, the race leader. Jeremy Berger, second place. The 2-car Jack Ryan in there as well. How does this shake down?
You see Stephen Parrott. We haven't seen much of him. So here is. Oh, they're wrecking!
That's everybody.
Oh,
that's everybody.
Upside down. Yeah, that's the whole field right there coming
Holden
back
McGill
again.
just did a barrel roll out of turn 4. Everybody's in this, and we're still crashing. We're still crashing. We're still crashing. Oh my. Oh, we're still crashing up here. We're creating new crashes. Oh boy.
Buddy in the field. We'll get a replay, and I don't know if you can pick out one single car to follow through this one, because this included most of the cars left in this race.
If you look at that, Landon Durhold was the only person to get through that.
I've never seen a crash quite like this. You know what? We're setting new marks every day. It looks like Joseph just, I mean, he's in the throttle. He has every right to be, and just hooks the 49. And, I mean, there's nowhere to go for anybody. Logan Durrell, you're right. Gets through. Oh, somebody else. Who was that? Ford on the bottom side. Oh, you know what? That was Kevin Franks we were talking about a while ago. How he might be in this thing. He's back in it, boys. Oh, my. I don't know.
It's hard to keep control of it, and while that didn't cause the yellow itself, because obviously you see Joseph just trying to give the shove that he needs to get the momentum towards the front, but it's this part of the turn. It's where you get back into the banking change is where the rest of the field's going to have a problem, because they're going to have...
We're going to watch Kevin Franks go through this. You see them starting to wreck a little bit in front. He's going to dive down to the apron, gets a little bit loose. You see Landon Durhold in front of him, and he just gets away scot-free. One of the few cars of the field that gets by Scott.
Sure. How about this, though? Nearly 3 wide for third spot. Brunnemer under fire from Ledecky, who's got drafting help. They almost come together at the start-finish line, and that's John Wittendorf trying to find a way through. And how about Hansen? He's trying to draw even here. We're back on board with Beats as they come to turn 2. They're going to survive the corner there. No look for the lead for the time being, but Hansen had a huge run just behind to try to get up into the top 5. And there's trouble. That's Hansen crashing there as they come through turn 4.
And James Hansen was a driver who entered the championship picture third in points. And while he will have that drop week as available, this is probably going to be the round where he's going to have to take it. He's probably falling back into it, the 20s or the 30s. And that was absolutely massive contact.
I believe Brady Lubenow was one of the cars involved. Hansen was in 6th. Notice that he had a huge run up the main straightaway. Looks as though may have tried to pull out and make a move. And you see, this is coming through turn 2. Oh, it started there with Ledecky. Ledecky got loose. The field stacked up behind him. And by the time the accordion kind of got back to where Lubenow was running in company, Hansen was already sideways, and Lubenow ended up piling in.
Yeah, unfortunate to just see so many early runners get collected. I used the word early already, but yeah, we're early into the running. You definitely don't want to fall out of the picture like this in the first 10 minutes or so of a 60-minute race. But I think just goes to show that these drivers were probably the most aggressive we've seen early in the race so far this season. And I think we're just seeing that Imola is offering a great combination of overtaking opportunities and places to catch back up. And it's still a very difficult circuit, even if it allows a lot of chances to get back up there to a driver ahead of you.
On board with Hansen. There you see the contact there as he got in the back of Wittendorf. Ruderbusch then jacks up Hansen, sends him around, and then it's Lubenow with the big blow that gets Hansen up on his side. Driving there as they go into the corner. Vic trying to find a way through. Almost overcooked turn 5. He'll fall back in line there behind the car, in which he just lost the position to there in Lowry. And this race will continue on up in a 6th spot. While we have a quick look of the top 10, this will open up an opportunity for us to thank some of those on the series side who make this race possible. And take a look at the driver who is currently running in 10th spot. That's Sarah Rabb, +6 on this race as the battle for position continues on. But there's Sarah, been able to keep her nose clean. We mentioned the impressive end. And just as we were talking about Sarah Rabb, she's going to lose it on the power off the corner. She'll now back up out of harm's way, and Sarah Rabb is going to get it right, and she will lose that top 10 starting position. And I believe I owe Sarah Rabb an apology for the jinx here. I was just about to talk about the fact that she has thrown her name on as a series sponsor and supporter. With her liveries by Sarah Rabb, with her graphic design experience of over 7 years, with awards at local, state, and national levels, she's absolutely committed to making sure that your next livery or logo is a masterpiece, just like her beautiful race car here that she had now sent sideways after catching the curve there on driver's right, and it has kicked her out of a top 10 running position. So what a heartbreaker for Sarah Rabb. But nevertheless, we will continue to acknowledge the fact that she supports this series in more ways than one, and hopefully she will have an opportunity to get back up into a top 10 spot before all said and done here.
Man, that really
go
hurts.
to third and fourth. We go on the pit lane, see quite a handful of drivers down there, including Tyler Langenberg, who is missing that front end.
Langenberg, a driver who looks as though he has found the edge of disaster here at Imola in this race at about just over the 45 to go mark. And let's go back here and see what happened to Langenberg. Car looks clean for now, kind of running by himself, catches a little bit of curbing here on the left-hand side of the course. Starting to close up here. Oh, wow. So something happened in front of Langenberg. He slowed down as the field stacked up and came to a stop and just got launched up skyward. And Langenberg, who started back in 26, started working his way up through the pack, now in the pit lane with a car which not sure they may be able to get that repaired and back out. So far, he's still in the session, but that was bizarre.
I'm utterly speechless after that accident. We'll get another perspective here of that, but he's definitely going to be, a little bit disappointed after all the practice you put in. But I think upon reflection, that is going to be a bit humorous, just considering the amount of airtime he was able to garner. Almost caught a piece of that spectator crossover bridge.
So Randall Ayers got off course, was starting to come back on. Oh, Scott Snyder is the car that got spun off, and he goes into the barrier hard. And then as Snyder was rejoining, I think here comes Randall Ayers. It's right out of the view of our screen. There it is. Oh, and Snyder, he was trying to avoid another competitor. Ayers was the car that punted the backside of Langenberg and sent him flying. So,
yeah, we'll get another perspective here, this time on board. So this should offer a pretty fun experience here. You see the initial accident happening up ahead. All around, he's doing the right thing, and he was able to maintain the racing line, and eventually things closed up on him, and then the driver ahead either was, just not wary of what was initially happening ahead, didn't know that there were cars coming up into the racing line. It'll happen sometimes. Racing incidents will happen. It's the nature of this, and I think that's the important thing about the sim side of things, is that you can learn from those mistakes without it being an expensive.
Scott Fritz now off of turn number 4 for what might be the final time. First restart overtime, as now Fritz going to get a huge jump. Alan Dobbs gets caught sleeping, as now he's going to get stuck behind Ronnie Shark Jr., who tries to give the bumper as he tries to defend from Alan Dobbs, as now down the back straightaway with 2 laps to go. He is in a good spot to get this win.
Aggression very high, and it looks like we are coming out of turn 4, meaning we will get the white flag. Race is official. Fritz gets loose off of 4. We're going to have a fight for the lead. 3 cars for it.
Oh no, hard break for the 1, and a huge wreck as they stack it up in turn number 1. But who is the big winner? We talked about it. He started in 4th. He's going to bring it home under yellow. It's going to be Casey Barlow coming off of turn number 4, checkered flag in the air. They're actually going to race it back to the line. It is going to be Casey Barlow taking the win. Nicholas Nagel going to hold on to 2nd. And how about this? John Kinder with the incredible comeback. He takes home 3rd.
Just goes to show how massive that wreck was up front. And then behind him, Casey Barlow does not have a rear bumper. And then behind those two, John Kinder's car is even more mangled. What an incredible podium. We are watching the replay and seeing the cause of the incident. Just a lot of aggressive action. And all of the top 4 get collected, including even more behind them.
Yeah, you see there, if we can get a chance again to look at the runoff of turn number 4. It all started in turn number 3. He got a little bit too excited. He saw that he was in the clear. Was a little bit excited entering turn number 3, and he just ran it a little bit too wide and overcooked the corner, and then sadly he was taken out in that, and Casey Barlow actually had to run it all the way back to the start finish line to fend off Nicholas Nagel. You're going to see exactly where he was. Go to turn number 4, you see there right there, Fritz gets a little wide off of 4. Dobbs and Shark Jr. fighting hard. Dobbs dives down to the inside. You can't make 3 wide work in 1 lane, and then that just sends all 3 of them around. Fritz bounced off the wall. Dobbs bounces in front of Brackett. Barlow dives to the inside with the smallest margin he could have found, and he holds on
2 laps to go. This is Zach Arnold on the outside, Merrick Watchorn on the inside, Holden McGill, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Wyatt Brackett, pace cars in. Let's go racing. 2 laps to settle it.
Excellent start there with Zach Arnold. You see Merrick Watchorn actually had a little bit of wheel spin. That's going to bring Holden McGill up into the mix. They're going to send it down into turn 1. Looks like we got a car around further in the back.
That's going to be
We're
the
still
caution.
good. That's the end. Zach Arnold will win. Oh my gosh.
Big accident on the back straightaway. They're still wrecking.
Absolutely hectic here on the final lap here at Richmond. Robert Mathis involved. Oh man, the pace car driving through those guys. You see the leaders coming up on the
He's got to miss it to win. He's got to miss the accident.
He better get back up there. Don't want a scoring error. There you go. You see Merrick Watchorn letting him go on by.
And coming to the checkers, I don't think anybody thought we were going to be saying this, but Zach Arnold wins at Richmond.
He's going to win, and he's going to burn it down. Very well deserved.
Yep, on the front straightaway. Zach Arnold, your race winner at Richmond. Out of all the drivers who dominated, Zach Arnold did not. And he came at the right time and stole the show on a phenomenal restart on the second green-white checkered. Put him in prime position to hold everybody off. That second to last restart, the second green-white checkered. How did you get that amazing start?
Yeah, I saw that he had been jumping it, right after the pace car pulled off, and I was my head, and I knew there was second gear restart was a little sketchy on the bottom, and there was no way I was going to try that up top, so I went to third gear restart there and just got the jump of my life, you know, and just really propelled me.
Pre-race can be a little tricky as we go into another one of the more tricky.
Whoa, Rambler and Fralick spin! Oh, and Hunter gets involved. Rambler went around as well, and that's some wing damage then for Don Hunter. Who got through that? Well, Rambler, I think, got back on the racetrack and got through it. Fralick still trying to get himself back collected.
Contact.
Oh my gosh, 3 cars! All 3 of them, Hunter, Rambler, and Mercier. Will this prompt a full course yellow? We've got a car stopped. It's Rambler. Yes, it is! We get a full course yellow. Cars flipping, 3 of them in total involved. And they're still wrecking. Tom Mercier gets collected by Daniel Falkingham.
Oh, man.
This is what happens after the fact with Falkingham and Mercier. Oh my gosh, guys. This is going to be Mercier, Hunter, and Rambler. This is from up above. What happens here? So 3 wide. They're going to go over the crest, and
tire
my gosh.
contact. Oh man, that Rambler just barrel rolling and lands on his lid. It's it. I mean, he landed on his wheels, and you just see Fralick, and I'm not quite sure who is behind him. Just scoot on right by. We're gonna get another.
It's hard to say if anyone's properly at fault for this one. I think just a lack of, 3 wide awareness. Yeah, Mercier squeezes over into Hunter as Hunter kind of follows the racing line a little bit, and they just meet in the middle. And unfortunately, really, I think the worst off is going to be Scottless Rambler going up and over like that. But then this is what happens afterwards where, Mercier is trying to get righted, and he pulls out, and this is a crest. So we'll get the onboard from Falkingham in a second. This is a crest, so Falkingham probably had no clue he was there.
As you say, we're coming up on a crest here, so we're actually.
Well, there's the red blob.
Here. You can kind of.
No,
no.
That's questionable at best.
That's really hard to tell.
Jesse Webb can keep his nose clean with more lap traffic ahead of him. He may be en route to a season-opening victory.
Yeah, while we were thanking the sponsors, he pulled out to another half a second or so advantage. We see one up and over at the top of turn 8 there, in addition to David Flanagan, who went off the racetrack in turn 7. Very unfortunate after what was an absolutely legendary run so far today.
That Hansen may have gotten a piece of that. Here's Brunemer. It's as though he's in the mist here. I don't know if he got off into the grass maybe and the car snapped on him or if there was contact, but it's Hansen who pole vaulted him over. So that would be the second incident that Hansen was involved in today, still holding on to a top 10 spot. But the driver who finished 3rd in the championship points the last time out now appears to be out of this race and buried in the running order, definitely outside the top 15. And not the way you want to start 2021, to say the least, after barrel rolling off into the gravel trap.
And here, as we get to the end of the race, he's going to have very little to show for it. Currently sitting at 25, he's only going to have a couple of points. Hard to tell if there was contact from behind or if he clipped a little bit of the grass trying to get a wide apex there. But at the end of the day, it is going to be side over side and end over end for Brunemer in turn.
Absolutely, as now we see the drivers make their way into the pit boxes. Dobbs.
Welcome back to the virtual Daytona International Speedway, and good news! We've got a session to go racing in. It's all been sorted out thanks to Andy McEwen, Chris Knox, and anybody else behind the scenes sorting all that out for us. We really do appreciate it, and we can go racing finally in just a few more moments here. See, for so long, I got to where I would always say JP, and I was constantly saying JP, and then from the 24 and MPI on Sunday night, I'm now back into the swing of saying Emerson. But JP, it's good to have a session here for race number 3, and we are very close to going racing about a minute away.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fantastic to be back. The sim looks as beautiful as always. Only a minute left in warm-up, and I mean, we have 10 inverts, if I'm not mistaken. It feels like it was 2 races ago almost, doesn't it, Andrew? The invert. But yeah, we have 10 inverts. It's going to be a good race as usual in Daytona. And obviously these guys, they make it fun all the way to the finish line.
There was definitely some extra time that passed, yes, but again, we really do appreciate the effort from the admins getting things sorted in a time of crisis almost. Sounds like some weird things happen behind the scenes, but they got it all sorted out, and we do have a race ultimately, which is the most important thing. So we're a few cars down, it seems, but we're ready to get after it here in just a few more moments as time ticks down in the warm-up session. A little bit later, it seems, in the sim as well, JP. So maybe some, oh, I was going to say some cooler temps, but no, the temps have come up. 80.9 degrees in the air, 86 on the track. I like this.
Yeah, I like this too. This could make things interesting, especially maybe down into turn 1, actually. Those big braking zones where drivers really have to be bold. The higher track temperature could make it a little bit more interesting. I'm up for it. How about 115 like we saw in the 24 hours?
Oh boy, I don't know if we're going to see that, but I wouldn't mind it. I really wouldn't mind that. A big shout out to those of you who stuck through. I know a lot of you guys watching from all kinds of different places, and maybe don't have all night to keep on watching. We really do appreciate it. Some of you even watching from an airport. I see you out there, Kayla. Yeah, really do appreciate any of you guys, all of you guys that stuck through and are still hearing our voices. The grid of race number 3 going to look like this. Mark Oliver on pole, then Nick Clibbins second, Jamie Gulliford third, Adam Delmont starts from 4th, Adam McNally 5th, Casper DeCourt then in the 6th spot, and you're back 4 of the top 10, Lars Fisher, Chris Knox, Thor Tillo, and Andy McEwen. It looks all correct.
Yeah, looks all correct. Down into row number 6, we're going to have Liam Stimson and Jason Cooper on the outside. Not losing too much on that invert. Douglas Stewart is going to start in 13th alongside Liam Silkson in 14th. 15th place, Andrew, row number 6. Row number 8, actually. We're going to have Glenn Humberstone and Ashley Stimson. And in 17th place, we're going to have the driver of Fiona Simmons and James Neve on her outside. And, well, the red lights are on, Andrew. Almost ready for race number 3.
Race 3 on the grid, waiting on the green flag from Barney the flagman, and green flag is out at the Daytona International Speedway. Clean start off of the grid, but we've still got 15 minutes to go in race 3. And I hear some crunches. Some clanging through turn 1, but it seems like everybody's continuing on. A little bit of contact never hurt nobody.
Absolutely. These cars are, I guess, designed a little bit to take a bit of contact, Andrew, take a bit of door banging, and they can still keep going, still keep pointing at the right direction. As you can see, out of a horseshoe, the International Horseshoe, have 3 rows of 2 wide action, 4 actually, for a moment there. But you can see right here, you're going to try to sort everything out before the kink, or in this case, right after the kink, maybe down it. Chris Knox will see him move on the inside. Not quite close enough.
Through the West Horseshoe, Knox a little bit loose there on the inside of 5. 1 car out wide, that looks to be Casper DeCourt. But everybody continues on. All 22 cars still in a row. Glenn Humberstone, the last of them, then James Clark and Craig Schill back there.
And you can see out of turn number 6, Andrew heading into the oval section. A few drivers going wide, a few drivers still battling side by side. This is where we're going to see a bit of moves happening. You can see that a battle for 3rd place between an 88 tech car and an Excite Racing machine as well. But down into the bus stop, they're trying to get, I guess, in a single file. There we go, all the way up to 6th and 7th place. Chris Knox still side by side.
This is the battle for 3rd as our Excite teammates go 2 by 2 into turn number 1, or at least went side by side for a moment. Andy McEwen, Lars Fisher racing. McEwen loses that battle as, 1 car hopping the curbing over there. That was Mark Oliver, and now in the grass.
Oh, maybe a bit of damage. Oh, be careful in the rejoin. Take control of the car. There you go, dragging a cone a little bit, trying to rejoin the racing. line, but you can see they're just losing all that momentum. Andrew not having the best of runs. He's going to be dropping all the way outside of the top 10. Meanwhile, for the lead, is this Adam Delmont and Nick Clibbins going at it.
To complete lap number 1 to the start-finish line, Clibbins will lead the lap with Delmont and McNally, his teammates, in line behind. 3 wide there with McEwen across the line.
3 wide just behind them. Quite close. You can see there McEwen around the outside of Lars Fischer. Unfortunately, running 2 wide, and now he's going to go side by side with Chris Knox, actually. And as we have, looks like a puff of smoke over there. We have one car that is stopped. Is that Trower? That's Douglas Stewart, actually. Wow, just going really wide in turn number 1. I wonder if there was a bit of contact.
There always is, isn't there? In turn 1, always seems to be, as our leaders exit the International Horseshoe, running just that little bit extra wide and getting right up to the grass there out of turn number 3. Side by side for third. That sorts out. Clibbins giving that spot up to Casper DeCourt. Casper on a roll this evening, JP. Won the first race, has been fantastic since.
Yeah, he's just been on point, Andrew. Today seems to be the best run of the season, dare I say, for him. And obviously he wants to keep the momentum up, and well, who knows? He's in a good position right here. He's in, according to you, the perfect position, isn't he?
I really think so. We almost saw Craig Schill win from the 4th spot even. You know what? I think McEwen was 3rd in the last race when all of that happened on the final lap. I really think 3rd spot is the best place to be with these Miatas. Your first move is going to come pretty quickly out of the bus stop, at least relatively quickly. Your second move from 3rd place is going to happen a little bit closer to the line, and that, I feel like, is going to be the winning move each and every time, or at least more often than not, as nose to tail to the bus stop. This is for 2nd and 3rd. And some battles behind Chris Knox, Andy McEwen. Knox comes out on top.
Yeah, they're going for it. I just saw Knox, McEwen, and Fisher going for it, as you can see there.
Whoa!
Oh, we had one car going really wide. Is that Fiona?
It is. Way wide to the bus stop. She loses 20th spot to James Clark in car 20.
And he's even going to lose quite a bit more time due to the slowdown penalty as well. Clark had a fantastic run on race number 1, was it? And now, unfortunately, the car number 20 in 20th place. Not the best of runs.
Oh, Chris Knox backwards into pit lane. I mean, style points, but he should have just kept it in the pits.
Did he speed on the pit lane, do you think, on that entry?
More than likely.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's going to rejoin. I don't know if that's actually going to carry a corner cut penalty.
No, it'll carry an unsafe pit exit
okay.
for leaving the pit lane in the middle of the pits. So, yeah, it's going to be a speeding and an unsafe pit exit. I'd imagine he can make a case to get that cleared, but we don't have an in-race admin, so I'm not sure that's going to happen. Yeah, problems there for Chris Knox.
Yeah, big problems for him. He was running such a good race. But yeah, gonna be backwards a little bit. As you can see, this is for 2nd, isn't it, Andrew? You can see there McEwen going around the outside. He might actually get 2 spots around here if he can get the car to turn in. You can see a bit of smoke over there. But McEwen on the outside of Clibbins gets that move. Beautiful job for him. He's looking real confident as well.
And he took that race 2 victory to heart, it looks like. Coming back out here in race 3 and going after it. Gets ahead of Clibbins, as you mentioned. Some battles further back. Neve and Stimpson as they exit turn 6. This is for 13th.
13th, just outside is pretty much of the top 10. Neve at this moment, I feel like he needs to help Stimpson up ahead. He does not need to battle. He needs to essentially give a push to make sure he gets on the back of those drivers. But I don't know, Andrew. I don't know if the right opportunity, the right choice is to battle right now. I feel like you need to help the guy ahead to make sure you're still in that slipstream up ahead.
See our leaders single file there through the bus stop. Neve and Stimpson do battle. Stimpson comes out on top, but they're slowing themselves down. They've got to go single file.
They just have to. Further behind them, you can see extra cars going single file. Pretty much all the 88 Tech cars looks like we're going at it at once. Just Chris Knox following that train. But you can see up here, Andrew, 5-Star Motorsport, 88 Techs, and McNally up there. And you can see there, McEwen actually is going to make it 3 wide. And, well, just like race number 1, Andrew, he takes the lead just before the checker flag. The start-finish line. There you go. Not the checker flag just yet.
Yeah, no, we're not even quite halfway. Lap 3 now goes complete of 7. Cooper runs the fastest lap that time. As you can see, everybody behind Andy McEwen hounding him there into turn 1, but he's still out front. McNally, oh, look at that. Lars Fischer out wide. Jason Cooper has rejoined the party. He's into the 7th spot, just behind his teammate Lars Fischer. and it's the green and purple number 4. Well, not way out front, but out front, but just enough. Now cars to his inside, and he goes wide.
Goes wide. Are we going to see 3 wide? Not quite. He's still going to be having the inside line through the kink, and I wonder if he's going to be able to hold that line. You can see there, Delmont gives a bit of a push to Casper DeCourt, and obviously the number 5 is going to have the inside for the second horseshoe. A bit of a bump from Delmont, but looks like no harm, no foul. They're still side by side, though.
A lot of bumping, a lot of banging even. As you can see, our group running down back to turn number 6 rather. Casper on the outside of Andy McEwen. And now, as Andy mentioned a little bit, after winning race 2, it becomes a game of tactics. You're just trying to set yourself up for the end. You know none of these laps matter unless you crash. That's the only time it really matters. Otherwise, you're just swapping spots, going back and forth, and it's really just setting yourself up for the last lap. And really, the last lap out of turn 6, or even out of the bus stop, you really don't have to race until the final 2 corners of the racetrack.
Yeah, pretty much. You have to be out of turn 6 to make sure you head into the bus stop, maybe in 3rd place, right? And then exiting the bus stop, you need to make sure you have a good, clean run through the start-finish line. Exactly what McEwen did on race number 2, and that is exactly what he wants to replicate, Andrew, on race number 3.
There go our race leaders back up onto the banking in NASCAR 3 and 4. Clibben's out high wide enhancement of Liam Silkstone. And that is a pretty shot.
That is an amazing shot, that is. Really good job, and you can see there, we're going to have an amazing battle for the lead right now. You can see there, McNally and Delmont trying to help each other, and now the 5-star motorsport drivers are actually going to help.
Oh, what a finish that would have been.
Yeah, it would have been such a good photo finish. And McEwen, I think, wouldn't complain if that was a checkered flag as well.
Oh, 1 car out wide. Lars Fischer way out there, gets back on. 3-4 wide through the first corner. 3 laps to go.
They're still side by side, Andrew. They're so crazy confident to be racing amongst each other. And now you're going to see Lars Fischer's going to have the inside line. Does he have a bumper on McEwen? McEwen is actually forced to leave him room.
Oh! In front of the entire field. Casper DeCourt goes for a spin. And he's junked. The rest of the field continues on. McEwen way out wide in the West Horseshoe. Fischer to the inside. Cooper's in 4th.
I am shocked to see that, Andrew, still. But yeah, you mentioned now that's actually going to help his teammate somewhat. Cooper's, well, pretty much alive now in this lead battle. And we know how good he is, how good his strategy on racecraft he is. So he's in with a real good shot. Currently, McEwen still leading the field as we exit turn 6. And Cooper right now can see his teammate Lars Fischer going side by side with Delmont. And I can see, Andrew, who he wants to help on this battle.
Going back to last season here at Daytona, Jason Cooper, Craig Schill, and Casper DeCourt all won a race here. Those 3 all in this race. Luke Cooper was the other winner that day. Casper's got a win. Craig almost had a win. Could Jason Cooper get it? As he's sitting back here on board with him. In fact, as he, a big bobble there into the corner, had to let Silkstone have the spot.
Yeah, Silkstone was wasting no time at all to get in this lead battle, to get in this gaggle of cars, as you like to say, Andrew. And now he's up into 4th place. Cooper, I guess, playing the really defensive game, really safe game for the moment. He knows he's still in this battle, and he wants to remain there. As you can see now, the leader's going 3 wide. Silkstone deciding who to slipstream from, and maybe even thinking about going 4 wide. Who does he help? Delmont, McEwen, or Lars Fischer?
Fischer drops back, McEwen drops down, and Silkstone gives a push there to Adam Delmont. Of course, those are Team Excite teammates as they work down into turn number 1. Cooper and Thortullo now in the draft. James Neve is quite a ways back. Here's that group.
You see the second group, essentially. Chris Knox still in it. You can see Clark over there going really wide. A bit more contact, but no harm, no foul. Looks like they keep on pointing in the same direction.
Some lead changes up front, but these are actually some really important drivers. You got Chris Knox back here who's been very aggressive. James Neve, who's in a great spot in the standings. Let's see. Liam Stimson. Who else is back here? James Clark is back here. Jamie Gulliford, a really important driver, I'd say, in the Pro-Am category. And further back, you'll find Craig Schill hanging on to their draft. Alistair Hatcher, meanwhile, is in the 17th spot. It's about a 3-position difference between these two, an amateur, and Craig is currently the top amateur driver.
Yeah, Craig currently doing what he needs in the championship to extend that gap. Unfortunately, I think Alistair actually got some points from race number 2 due to the penalty, but we're going to have to wait and see how it lines up at the end of race number 4. As you can see, this second lead battle, this is on board with, is this actually Craig's show? Yeah, it is. There you go. So Craig is still in this lead battle, as you mentioned, Andrew, the second group battle. He's doing a good job so far. He needs to be safe, and he needs to be aware of those incidents.
2.5 minutes to go. We got 2 to go the last time. We'll take the white flag presented by Whiplash Simcams in race number 3, this time by the flag stand. 2, 3 wide to the bus stop. Delmont to the point. McEwen second, side by side for third.
And you can see just who's approaching as well, Andrew, just behind him, seeing that Thor Tulo is actually on this battle as
Chris
well.
Knox in trouble.
Oh!
He goes wide. Liam Stimpson's got damage. And the right rear is not turning. Transaxle broken.
Oh no, and he's out of the race.
2 minutes to go. White flag this time for the rest of the field. Your top 7 in a group. McEwen going to make a move to the outside. And he's going to lead this lap.
Maybe just practicing, Andrew, for this lap right here. The final lap of the race. You can see there so many cars. Actually, 7 cars on this lead battle, Andrew. 7 cars still within a shot of winning this race. Who is it going to be?
They'll work down to turn number 3, the International Horseshoe this time. McEwen on the inside of Jason Cooper, holding that spot. It seems like, for once, the twisty bit is not going the way of 5-Star Motorsport. They're great, but it doesn't seem like they have the same kind of enforcement of their speed as they usually do. Almost like McEwen and Team Excite can actually hold some speed against these guys. Delmont leading, McNally racing with these guys. It really is a bit of a detour from what we usually see with 5-Star as Lars Fischer pushes Silkstone out wide.
Really pushing him wide, really trying to defend that position with all the energy essentially he can. Now he's gonna go a bit defensive. That's really gonna compromise his exit, and McNally might have something to say for that 5th spot. You can see there, this is James Clark, isn't it?
He
just
cut
going
the
slow.
infield.
Oh no, luckily he's just gonna be slow. He's not gonna be interfering too much. Unfortunately, he's gonna go a lap down, cutting back to the 2nd place battle. You can see there, this is on board with Jason Cooper. McEwen just pushing him, Andrew, to make sure they're close enough to the slipstream from Adam Delmont.
They need to be close. McEwen's in the right spot if they get that draft, and they certainly will, out of the bus stop. That's going to bring McNally and Fisher. It's going to change the dynamics with how far back they are of the race leader. Delmont leading, and Cooper is backing McEwen up. He knows that McEwen can get a really good run here. They're still going to bunch up, but definitely playing games.
Cooper is in essentially a 3rd place situation, Andrew. He's so far behind the leader. He's going to get a slingshot run.
But he's not going to get enough of a run.
Maybe not.
None of them are going to get to Delmont.
Oh, Delmont might just have this one saved. Cooper was being too safe. Further back, 3 wide battle for 3rd.
Really odd move there from Jason Cooper, and it's going to backfire as Adam Delmont's going to victory lane in race number 3.
3rd different driver to win today, Andrew. Could we make it 4 out of 4? Delmont definitely won, so wow, what a race. I mean, that is so unusual to see Cooper making such an odd mistake. I'm shocked.
I think showing that he is, in fact, human.
All right, that's one of the signs, I guess.
And 3 wide there with Douglas Stewart. Fiona Siddons and Glenn Humberstone across the line in that order, 14th, 15th, and 16th. Next to the line is Nick Clibbins. He somehow got sorted way back. And then it looks like Sam Smith across the line, albeit 2 laps down. And James Clark will be the final car to finish after his many issues right at the end of race number 3. JP, I know it's been a little while, and usually right about this time we'd be wrapping up race number 4, but do you know what time it is?
It's time for our lovely spinny wheel, and this time, Andrew, I mean, it was 8. We both tried 8. I'm going to go for 15.
21. Not quite. Full.
Full? What? Wait, what? Oh, close?
That's full.
Oh my god. Yes, interesting.
So that's going to give us, I believe, 19 cars. What number did you say? 15?
Yeah, 15.
Okay. So I believe it's going to be an invert of 19, maybe 20 with Liam Stimpson maybe sneaking through as a technicality. But either way, 19 or 20 cars, that's most of the field. That's all but 2 cars, all but Sam's, actually, yeah, all but Sam Smith and Casper DeCourt. Potentially all but Liam Simpson, and Sam Smith and Casper DeCourt. So still a large part of the field for our final invert of the day. Wouldn't do it any other way here with BSR.
Absolutely not. And obviously, the unofficial results for race number 3, Andrew, Adam Dalmon, after, well, Jason Cooper backing himself up to get a good run, is going to win comfortably by over a 1/10 of a second. Adam McNally is going to come home in 3rd ahead of Lars Fischer. Andrew McEwen is going to actually finish in 5th place for car number 4. Thor Tula is going to win the Pro-Am class in 6th place ahead of his competitor Liam Siltstone. Craig Schill actually is going to win the amateur class all the way into the top 10 in 8th place ahead of James Neve and Ashley Stimson.
And finishing in the 11th position here in race number 3, it's Jamie Gulliford in Pro-Am, then Alistair Hatcher, Mark Oliver, Douglas Stewart, and Fiona Siddons. Your top 15, Glenn Humberstone goes 16th, Nick Clivens, James Clark complete your top 18, and the lead lap cars. Stimson will not get the invert. He is credited as 2 laps down, so Chris Knox should still technically get the invert as a technicality there from the 19th position. Otherwise, James Clark may get pole. Regardless, a lot of cars going to be inverted for our final run of the day here at Daytona.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting, Andrew. And unfortunately, as you mentioned, Casper DeCourt, Sam Smith not allowed to essentially be inverted due to, unfortunately, those contacts. But on race number 4, do you have any, I guess, predictions? Do you have maybe a bet on who's going to win?
Us. You know why?
Why?
We'll get to see more good racing. And if anything,
really?
the viewers.
In the fence. Yes. See?
Yeah, the viewers that are in the bleachers there in Victory Lane for some reason, just phasing through, they will get to see a good race, or at least pieces of a good race, as they're, again, stuck in the bleachers of Victory Lane. But regardless, no, we'll see some good racing here in race 4 as we've grown accustomed to with BSR, but especially when they come to Daytona, we always get good racing. We always get a good look at what these drivers can do at the Daytona International Speedway. Draft battles galore, as we often say. That is it, though, for race number 3, which means, JP, hopefully a shorter intermission this time as we get ready for race 4. One more to go while we try and wrap up round number 9 this season.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Welcome back to the virtual Daytona International Speedway. And who... I messed that one up. I was going to say, hey, who turned the lights off? But really, JP, we're wondering more so who turned the lights on. It is nighttime at Daytona, and race 4 under the lights is going to be a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic, Andrew. I mean, final race of the day. It's always a bit more action-packed, isn't it, than the rest 3? Although tonight's 3 races were pretty action-packed on themselves, so I wonder what we have waiting for us tonight.
I'd imagine a couple of crashes at the very least. Not a bad way. It just tends to be that way, especially at Daytona, and definitely a lot of passes. Likely a last lap pass for the win. Do you think we'll see one?
I think so. Yeah, I hope so, actually. Well, we have 15 minutes to find out. We're gonna have to wait until the literal final second, won't we?
Yeah, I'm not sure we actually saw one there in race number 3, oddly enough, where Delmont took victory, but I'd imagine we'll see one here as we drop one car, it looks like, once again, down to 21 cars with a 19-car invert that goes all the way back to Chris Knox in the 19th spot. So a lot of cars being turned around here. Then James Clark in 2nd, Nick Clibbins 3rd, Glenn Humberstone 4th, starting 5th, it'll be Fiona Siddons, 6th, Douglas Stewart, starting 7th, you'll find Alistair Hatcher, then Jamie Gulliford, Ashley Stimson, and James Neve will wrap up your top 10.
11th place, we're going to have Craig Schill. Alongside him, Liam Silkstone in 12th. 13th place, Andrew, we're going to have in row number 7, Thor Tulo on the inside, and Andrew McEwen, actually the number 4 on 14th. Lars Fisher is going to start in 15th place, and Adam McNally in 16th.
Ready for race 4. Waiting on the green lights, and green flag is out at Daytona. Chris Knox through turn 1, pulling away from James Clark, Nick Clibbins, and everybody else.
If I know Chris Knox, Andrew, he wants to pull away this early. He wants the drivers behind him.
Whoa, Fiona Siddons.
Battle. Oh, problem already going wide into the horseshoe.
Trying to find Fiona in the list. There she is.
Oh,
and more
issues.
trouble. Andy McEwen involved. A lot of cars involved up here.
Oh, wow. 4 cars looks like we're involved. 5
Liam
maybe.
Stimson, Adam Delmont's back here. Adam McNally off the track. Massive issues lap 1.
2 race winners from tonight are already pretty much out of the question, out of the contention actually for the lead. Meanwhile, Chris Knox, Andrew, has been building quite a sizable lead. I think that's all going to come. I mean, unfortunately, it's going to be cut down at the exit of 6, but so far has been a good start from the number 23.
Unfortunately for who? Unfortunately for Chris Knox, or unfortunately for Nick Clibbins, because Clibbins is going to have one big head of steam down to the bus stop.
Oh, unfortunately for the 23, the number 13, Andrew, is thinking that we have such big straightaways and on this track. Look at that. The gap is already coming quite down quite a bit, and well, he's right back in contention for the lead.
Not going to force anything this lap into the bus stop. I'm sure we'll wait at least until he gets out of the bus stop to really do anything. Out of the chicane, the opportunities open up. Clips the inside there, though. That might be an off track. Might be a slowdown, potentially, depending on how close he was. It seems like he's going to stick with it, so I'd imagine no slowdown yet.
Yeah, that was a lucky escape from him. If that was not a slowdown, definitely an off track, maybe. As you can see there, McEwen going through the bus stop, and then these two battling. That is Delmon McNally. It looks like one of the X-side cars. Meanwhile, Casper DeCourt trying to find his way back. And this looks like it's a battle for the second pack of the race so far.
16th spot here. The battle, actually 15th, with Alistair Hatcher as lap 1 goes to complete. Knocks over Clibbins over Humberstone up front.
And Humberstone is going to quickly move up into second. As you can see there, the second group really battling down into turn number 1. Nick Clibbins, though, he's going to regain it. Oh!
Somebody just hit the wall.
Oh, there's a piece of a car right there, of a bumper, I think.
I can't tell who it was. It might have been Ashley Stimpson, and she is in more trouble.
Oh, big trouble. Oh, already back to the pit lane.
Let's see if we can get a look at that.
I wasn't expecting to see this today. We mentioned, I guess, in the pre-race broadcast that it happened last season, but I wasn't really counting on it to happen again. But it is a tricky braking zone. Did he get any help? Did a 504 get any help, or was it just losing the braking engine, taking quite a bit of, I guess, that stab between the yellow lines and then braking? Does the car get loose? No help. Oh, clips the grass a little bit. Oh.
I don't think there was any grass involved.
You don't think? Maybe just losing the braking?
Maybe get some grass. You might be right. Just a little bit there. Yeah, you're right. Oh, and Silkstone nowhere to go.
Did Silkstone actually get lucky with the contact to not essentially carry any damage? Not quite sure. The car
I don't know if lucky is the word.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been worse, I guess.
Humberstone to the lead.
Into the bus stop, takes the lead. Chris Knox, guess being a bit safe early on in the race, knows it's not really a good point to defend this early on. Obviously, still 10 minutes and 50 to go. Second place, he's going to get a good run back to Humberstone, but you can see up ahead, this is on board with Neve. Gulliford up ahead, then Clark, then Clibbins. It's a nice little train, Andrew, for the lead. Only 6 cars, though, in this group.
Silkstone in trouble well down the order. He is backwards in the grass and is just rolling. Clibbins 3 wide, goes to the inside of Humberstone and Clark and pushes Knox across the line.
And look at how quickly things change. Glenn Humberstone was leading the race, and now he's in the back of this pack, 6th place. And the second group is really approaching them now. Look at that.
Yeah, they are. That gap is closing up. Bringing 5-star with them as well. Lars Fisher, Casper DeCourt side by side here for the 10th position. Jason Cooper just up the road. On board with Cooper.
Yeah, and dare I say, this is essentially a 12-car group right now for the lead. All of them separated by 2.5 seconds. You can see Cooper looking down the inside of the kink. This is dangerous. He gets the car kind of turned in with the curb right there, and now he's going to be looking to the outside, trying to make a move work. And Andrew, could this be the day that we don't see Cooper winning?
Yeah, I mean, it's the best chance, certainly. I think Watkins Glen and Daytona were the best chances to have that happen, and Watkins Glen, it didn't happen. Daytona, it just might, but, it's not over yet as Humberstone goes for a spin. Just barely hangs onto that car, and will continue on, albeit well behind the leaders. He's going to drop down to 13th spot, and you can see they're driving away.
Yeah, you can see just how much momentum he's going to lose. And unfortunately for him, just a bad day. He was leading the previous lap. Now he's all the way down in 13th. Looks like maybe even further behind. As you can see now, Casper DeCourt making his way through Sam Smith and getting a bit of help from his teammate Lars Fisher. This is a battle for 7th place. Cooper, his team is just ahead. Meanwhile, Chris Knox retakes the lead down into the bus stop.
Good moves here through the bus stop. Clibbin's going to keep trying to work on car 23. And he's got to run this time. Does he have any help? He's got James Neve.
And you can see there they're going to go side by side. Clark is going to help the number 23. It's going to be essentially a 2-train injury. This is, I like to call it all the time, essentially Talladega. Who is going to win, the bottom or the top line?
James Neve on the bottom side pushing Chris Knox. James Clark on the bottom side pushing Chris Knox. James Neve on the top. And now, look at that. 3 cars go to the top side. Casper DeCourt and pushing Jason Cooper across the line. Lars Fisher has a good lap there. And we go through turn 1.
And
3 wide almost.
Yeah, 3 wide. And Cooper came all the way from the back, Andrew. And he momentarily led the race. He's actually side by side with Chris Knox right here. And he's going to have the inside line through the International Horseshoe. Chris is going to try to defend it around the outside. Can he hold it? Not quite. In the previous lap, we mentioned this could be the best chance that Cooper doesn't win a race. And look at where he's at right now, Andrew.
Just wait. Chris Knox is still right there. You can see Andy McEwen way back. He's in 15th spot, rather, behind Alistair Hatcher. And, yeah, there you go. Chris Knox, a big send into the West Horseshoe. He's going to go wide, sure, but that's the kind of racing you'll see out of Chris, especially for a race win. Clibbins now side-by-side with car 23. And to turn 6 we go. Clibbins on the outside. Casper DeCourt shoves it up the inside there, trying to make a pass. Sam Smith runs wide.
And now into turns 3 and 4. Cooper still leading. Knox lost half a second of that battle, and you can see there Casper DeCourt and Nick Clibbins very close to one another. Actually, Clibbins looks like he's going to go side by side with Casper DeCourt, who's actually going to be pushing a little bit. Chris Knox looks like, and they're going to really be approaching Jason Cooper. There we go. Chris actually takes the lead into the bus stop.
You can see the field dive down to the bus stop there. And they'll pop back out with Chris Knox leading over Jason Cooper and Casper DeCourt. Nick Clibbins trying to find something in that fourth spot. And he's just got no help right now. His teammates well down the order. Sam Smith, the only real teammate he's got up here, and even that's just an associated teammate. We'll see if they work together or not. Delmont's 19th. McNally is 16th. Stimson is 20th. Ashley Stimson, that is. And Liam Stimson, I don't think is in this race. Oh, he is. He's 18th, actually. So, yeah, Team X-Lite, not a good showing in this final race of the day. Casper goes up in front of Nick Clibbins. So now 5-star controlling both lines.
Yeah, 5-star can essentially be a roadblock, can they? If they had Lars Fischer up here as well in 3rd place, it would certainly be interesting. But unfortunately, he's all the way down in 8th. But that could change in the span of just one lap. But you can see there James Clark starting in 2nd, Andrew. Currently 6th, but that's the lowest he has been so far in this race. A good showing from him today. In race number 1, he was always there. And so far, I mean, he's still in this battle right here.
Gets ahead of Lars Fischer for the time being. James Neves side by side with Lars. Then Jamie Gilliford, Thortolo, Douglas Stewart, Craig Schill, your amateur leader. Sam Smith leading in Pro-Am.
All the way up in 4th place as well. It's a really good showing.
Like that 3rd.
Now he's 3rd place, really good. And his closest in-class competitor is Jamie Gulliford, all the way down in 9th. But as you can see here, Sam Smith not afraid to battle with Chris Knox on turn 6. He's going to have the outside lane. He's going to get a bit of a longer drive, and now it's just going to be drag racing. Chris is going to have a bit of an advantage due to the slipstream, but Sam is going to have that side draft as well, Andrew.
Look at how close they are in Oval 1 and 2. Nick Clibbins behind as he go and pushes SimTech Racing Excite teammate.
Does he? Maybe into the bus stop. I don't think he will. But who's going to be more aggressive right here? It looks like both of them actually not afraid. None of them slowing down. Andrew side by side, and well, Sam Smith takes 3rd place, almost at the lead. He's definitely close to it too.
Now pulling some draft off of Casper DeCourt. Even though those two are tandemed ahead, that should help Sam Smith catch up to him by turn number 1, or at least pretty close to it. Douglas Stewart with trouble in the back.
Oh, that's a slow down, I think. Yeah, he's on the upside. You can see just on the high line, I should say. And you can see him giving up quite a bit of time. This is Glenn Humberstone as well, looks like, giving up quite a bit of time. And you can see there, Sam Smith, he's closing up.
Oh! Jason Cooper wrecked by his teammate on the front stretch. Wow. A push gone wrong, and Jason Cooper will not win any races in week number 9, the first time all season, aside from when he didn't race at Mosport.
Wow. And actually, that's going to give the lead to Sam Smith, as Casper's going to lose 2 extra spots. I mean, I'm speechless.
Incredible. Sam Smith leading now down the backstretch of the infield, if you will, through the kink. Casper DeCourt still in this lead group. Lars Fischer behind him. That's why teamwork has got to be done carefully here at Daytona. You can't push willy-nilly, and right there, I think, just trying to stay tandemed a little too long, especially when you know cars are going to catch you anyways. Maybe just go ahead and race it out a little bit. Go side by side, block the racetrack maybe just a tad bit down to turn 1. But hey, hindsight is 20/20 in that case.
I mean, it's just so unfortunate. I'm not quite sure what exactly happened, but I guess just a bit of miscommunication and just the bumper caught at the wrong angle. And at one point, it looked like he corrected the car, didn't it? And then, well, just completely swung right again, and Cooper was in the wall. Either way, Casper DeCord now, I mean, he has double work. He needs to essentially win this race to, I guess, make up for the team as well. Luckily for him, he has his teammate Lars Fischer up in 4th place as well to help him. Meanwhile, you can see McEwen going side by side with McNally, looks like, heading into the bus stop.
This is for 12th. McEwen's got the edge. Meanwhile, Douglas Stewart, Fiona Siddons, and Glenn Humberstone battle on the back stretch. We'll look at them now. Fiona to the inside of Glenn and backs out.
Yeah, just backing out.
White flag coming.
Yeah, meanwhile, look at this. Casper DeCord now is going to be side drafting off of Sam Smith, and Casper DeCord is actually not going to get help from his teammate. He's going to get help from a Clark just behind who gives him a good nudge. And look at that. Now Casper is leading, and will he lead the second to last lap? Yes, he will, Andrew. Final lap of the race. This is it.
White flag presented by Whiplash Sim Cams. Clark out wide. Casper goes, but not quite as wide that time. Clark going to get a good run, maybe. Blinking as Chris Knox is in control of this race for now. But as soon as we pop back up onto the banking out of turn 6, everything goes into the hands of Casper DeCord and Sam Smith, or whoever is second and third at the time. What can Chris Knox do to defend?
Just let Casper DeCord go, or hope that Casper does a similar mistake to Cooper that Cooper actually did on the last race, Andrew. But I'm not quite sure what's going to be the game plan. You can see there Chris Knox getting quite comfortable, but Casper DeCord really pushing him into the braking zone. He actually forces, it looks like Chris to go a bit wide, but it's still not going to be enough. I'm not quite sure if Casper is just holding back a little bit.
Sam Smith, James Clark here. That is third and fourth. It's actually Lars Fischer battling with James Clark. Nick Clivens just behind. Thortillo a little further back. And then teammates, James Neve, Jamie Gulliford inside the top 10 and in this front battle. Craig Schill, the top amateur, he's back there. Chris Knox to the top side of the racetrack one more time. As again, this is the final lap at Daytona. Casper DeCord down low. Sam Smith kind of trying to decide where he wants to go. James Clark is going to have a big run if he can only get single file with Lars Fischer. Lars holding him side by side. Casper DeCord up the inside. Sam Smith goes second.
Oh, and you can see Chris Knox actually held back beautifully, half a second behind Sam Smith. He's not going to get the slingshot he needs, Andrew. He's going to be a bit faster. He's not going to help Casper. He's going to go side by side. Look at the run now. Chris Knox actually being helped by Clark. This could really prove dividend.
Side by side for the race lead. Casper DeCord and Sam Smith. Here comes Knox. He goes middle now. Splitting the difference. Contact. They stay together for the time being. They're going to race it out to the line. 4 wide. Fischer now pushing the 23 through the middle. 4, 5 wide at Daytona, and Chris Knox wins it.
Wow, what a finish.
Woo!
That was 4 cars inside the same tenth of a second, Andrew.
That is how you do it at Daytona.
Absolutely. That's what you were hoping for pre-race, wasn't it?
3, 4, 5 wide works for me. And that is Chris Knox's third win, on the season. For him to have only gone to victory lane 3 times to this point is kind of incredible. He has not won since race number 2 at Knock Hill Racing Circuit in round number 3. It's been a while.
Well, yeah, it certainly has, and I'm pretty sure this is actually going to feel great for him. Winning, he came close on race number 2, wasn't it? But it just fell short, but, well, he finally came on race number 4.
You see the fireworks there on the backstretch, right over Lake Lloyd. That is a beautiful, beautiful sight to see for car 23. And hopefully these guys make things quick. Let's go ahead and go through. We might have 1 car still racing. Jason Cooper still trying to finish this race before we can actually go through our race results. But as soon as he gets to the line, we can go ahead and wrap things up and see who finished where in race number 4. Where's he at? Is he off? Yeah, he's off of turn 4. All he's got to do is make it back to the line. And I'm honestly surprised, JP, that this car is still running.
Yeah, I'm genuinely surprised. I mean, I'm not quite sure how, but, I mean, kudos to you. I mean, wow, Cooper. Taking a damaged car to the finish flag, I mean, that is something. And, well, there you go.
Dedication.
Yeah, and he still finishes on the lead lap.
Casper DeCord sent to 18th.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm still speechless. I don't know what's happening, but either way, Chris Knox is going to win this race nevertheless. Clark is actually going to come home second, just 52 thousandths. 66 thousandths, though, is going to be Lars Fischer ahead of Sam Smith, who's going to be winning the Pro-Am class. Thor Tulu is going to finish in 5th place, inside the same second. Then it's going to be Nick Clibbins, James Neve, Jamie Gulliford, and Craig Schill is going to win the Pro-Am class, and then Andrew McEwen to round off our top 10.
Finishing 11th is Alistair Hatcher. Not quite what he needed versus Craig Schill, but he matches Craig through most of the day. So I think those two will still be very close at around number 10 next week at Sebring International Raceway. Adam Delmont goes 12th here in the final race of the day. Finishing 13th, you'll find Douglas Stewart. 14th will be car 70, car 78, Adam McNally. Then Glenn Humberstone wrapping up your top 15. Fiona Siddons goes 16th, 18 seconds behind our race leaders. Then Liam Stimson, Casper DeCourt, and Jason Cooper finish on the lead lap with Ashley Stimson in 20th and 21st. Liam Silkstone 6 laps down to the race leaders, JP. Another good round here at Daytona, and that's just about what we expect every single time we get BSR anywhere, but especially here at the World Center of Racing. Fiona Siddons is alongside. Let's go ahead and bring Fiona in. JP, here's driver of the 927.
So Fiona, we know that you're focusing on the championship down into the touring car side, but is it good practice driving the MX-5 around Daytona for Thursday?
It's good practice to get to know the lines. I wanted to come in just to apologise for the delay between race 2 and 3 because... or 1 and 2 was it? Can't remember now. It's been that long. But I set it up. Michael disappeared. He had a phone call and nobody knew what was happening. So,
well, no worries. But talk us through your day. I mean, it seemed to be up and down a little bit. A few mistakes here and there. How was it generally?
As you say, it was up and down. Never really, as I said last week, I've never really clicked with this track. I'm just hoping that Thursday night something clicks and I get some good results.
And what's going to be the strategy for Thursday night? Do you think being a little bit safer until the final few laps, or being aggressive and guaranteeing that track position is going to be vital?
I think play it safe round here and then see what happens going into Sebring.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's certainly going to be a fantastic day. Do you have any predictions for us? Do you think you can, maybe tackle an overall race victory on Thursday?
I don't think so, but I'll give it a try if I get right grid reverse.
Don't knock yourself out just yet. Certainly you could throw a spanner in the mix, as I like to call it, but yeah, Fiona, with that being said, it was an up and down day, but we know you're focusing on that touring car championship, and well, I'm going to wish you the best of luck for Thursday, and hopefully we can talk to you then.
Yeah, definitely. I'll pop in. I'll be hosting the sessions on Thursday, so I'll pop in at the end.
Oh, absolutely. That's something we look forward to actually talking to you. So yeah, Fiona, best of luck on Thursday, and see you then.
Yeah, thank you. Catch you later, guys.
So Andrew, that was Fiona Siddons. An up and down day for her, but well, as I mentioned, touring car championship seems to be the focus, and I think it definitely should be.
That it is. Very, very close to wrapping up a championship. JP, I know you have to run. Good night to you. Thanks for sticking with us a little bit late here. We will bring in Craig Schill before we shut things down here. Time for just one more interview. We're about 20 minutes behind, but let's go ahead and bring in driver of the 982. Craig, I know it's not what you wanted. We talked to you a little bit earlier after race number 2. Not at all what you wanted from the evening, but you can't be too dejected, I think, overall, considering it seems like you're going to come out relatively even, or maybe even ahead of Alistair.
I've had a good night. I must admit, we've been having quite a good chuckle in the 88 tech room, beating each other. He almost had me in race 4. He got a little bit loose and just tapped the front of my car. But hey ho, that's racing.
Sebring next week. Do you have any expectations?
I've not really driven Sebring that much, to be honest, so there will be a bit of practice involved, but it's fun taking it down to the last round, I must admit. We've been laughing and joking about it a fair bit, whether we could do it.
Well, I see Ali went ahead and joined the broadcast waiting room. Why don't we go ahead and bring both of you guys in here at the same time? And I want to ask you guys the same question. We'll do it in stages. And Craig, since you're already here, I want to ask you first. How difficult is it to race your teammate heads up for a championship when I'd imagine you guys practice and share notes together?
It is hard because obviously you don't want to take your own teammate out. So I must admit I give Ali a little bit more respect than I probably give everybody else on the grid.
And,
yeah, Craig's pretty good with me, to be fair.
Yeah, I was going to say, same question to you, Alistair. I mean, I'd imagine notes are shared around. You guys kind of working on the same setups, trying to tweak things here and there. Is it an added element of difficulty? I'd imagine so.
Yeah, like Craig shares a lot of the setups with me, or all of the setups. If he finds a good one, he'll share it with not just me, the whole team, but which helps massively because I don't have any setups or anything like that. So yeah, it's good, but yeah, it's quite difficult when we're battling or when we're close together to try and you're kind of trying to give each other room, but still obviously trying to keep up with everyone else. So it's not easy.
And I guess I'll ask you the same question I asked Craig a few moments ago. Sebring next week, it's a little bit different for Miatas. I know Miatas come to Daytona pretty often, but Sebring is going to be a little bit different, longer layout than we usually see for a lot of your racetracks you guys go to. Do you have any kind of expectations? Have you practiced there at all? What are you looking forward to next week?
I've never driven at Sebring before. I've never done Daytona before tonight, so yeah, it could be interesting. I didn't even get any practice in for Daytona until this evening, so. But I'll have to put some more hours in for Sebring to make sure I'm keeping Craig honest.
Well, there you go.
I'm sharing my setup. I'll keep my setup to myself this time.
Well, hey, best of luck to you guys both. It's going to be a lot of fun watching you guys duking out for a championship next week. And best of luck to you both Thursday as well.
Thanks, Andrew. Cheers to the stream.
It's Alistair Hatcher and Craig Schill, teammates battling it out with 88 Tech. Now, I've got time for one more, and then I do have to run as well. But we can go ahead and bring in... I know Adam Delmont won a race tonight, so we got to bring in Adam between Adam and Liam. So I do apologize, Liam. But hey, Adam Delmont, you won a race tonight. I know race 4, not at all what you wanted, especially off the start with whatever happened. What did happen there towards the start of the race?
I think it was just a bit busy, and Adam had to take avoiding action of a slow car coming out the exit, and it dropped him a wheel off on the curb, and it just spat him out on cold tyres, and it just pushed him over to me, tagged me off the circuit, which wasn't too bad, but then I think there was a car behind that got hit behind, which hit me, and then it just went a bit, and I was left with damage then. It was okay through the corners. I kept catching cars in front through the infield, and then we'd get to straight, and I'd just see them drive away again. But yeah, do you know what? P13, not too bad, and I believe Casper may have had a penalty crossing the line, and it's dropped him right to the back. So he's my main rival at the minute for P2 overall. Jason's pretty much gone anti with championship, so it's a bit of a dogfight between me and Casper for P2 overall, so he's my main focus at the minute. I just want to finish in front of Casper.
Now, we know at Daytona and all these draft tracks, teammates matter so much. We've seen that week in, week out. We saw it last week at Road Atlanta, every single race tonight. But how do you perfect that team strategy? It seems like you guys had just the same kind of effort tonight against 5-Star. You guys were toe-to-toe all night long.
Yeah, do you know what? It's been a long-running battle between Excite and 5-Star, and when it used to be Swift Cooper, with some of the drivers the same, some different now, but it's always been a fair, hard fight between us two as teams. But we love it, and I'm sure they love it. But yeah, you've just got to pick your points. Some of my team know that they're not in a fight for the championship, so that, they'll do the best to help me gain points, and I'm sure 5-Star are, doing the same kind of thing where they know that Casper's in a bit of a fight, so they'll do the best to try and gain him the most points and maximise what he can get. It's just, when you're with a team that you've been with a while and you trust each other and you work together like we all do, it just becomes second nature. You don't really plan any of it, it's just on the fly a lot of it, but you just trust each other to manoeuvre in the right way.
Now, Sebring next week to wrap things up. I know you guys don't race on Thursdays. Does that mean Thursday is going to be your practice day? It seems like many of BSR drivers have not run at Sebring before. How do you attack it?
I know Sebring very well, to be fair, but I usually do the Monday night fun night as a practice. Well, I do the first hour, and then I race in the Next Gen League on a Monday that starts at 7. So I usually join practice for the Tuesday for an hour, then bugger off on Next Gen, and then usually the hour and a half, 2 hours before the actual qualifying, I'll get my laps in then. I tend to find if I practice too much, Andrew, you can teach yourself bad habits. I think you get to a point and then you start going you get too exploring and you just end up going backwards then, and at that point when I drop off it's like, right, I've done enough, and I'll park it until, you know, race night.
Well, then if you've got plenty of experience at Sebring, I guess what's the trick to it? Do you have a trick to it or anything? I mean, it seems like these guys, a lot of them, maybe not a whole lot of experience. I don't want you to give too many secrets away, but I guess, what are you carrying into next week then? I'll rephrase the question. What are you carrying into next week that you already know about Sebring?
Carrying just track knowledge, knowing where the bumps are that you can hit and the ones that you can't, knowing where to pick your points to pass to give you the most benefit on the lap. You know, I think it's going to be a lot of trying to work with whoever you're with to start with, and trying to break away and then, you know, dog it out at the end. And you know me, I'll be on full send anyway, so.
Well, there you go, Adam Delmont from Team Excite. Really good stuff tonight, Adam, as always. Congratulations on that win earlier in the evening as well. And hey, we'll see you at Sebring. Best of luck to you.
Yep, take it easy, guys.
Thanks to all drivers for their time. I know we couldn't get through everybody tonight. I know we had at least one or two that was hoping to talk to us, but we do have to go ahead and run. So let's wrap this up quickly. First off, upcoming broadcast here at Pit Stop TV. Let's get back to this point. You can see the IRL IndyCar Series Indianapolis 500 tomorrow evening in, well, just over 25 hours, actually. 7:30 Eastern tomorrow night, Wednesday night. We've got IndyCars on the rather small banks, on the rectangle, if you will, the brick-shaped Brickyard at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's going to be a fun one. Indianapolis is always a big-time motorsport mecca. It always carries a little bit extra weight, no matter what's racing there, and I think is definitely going to carry that same special aura that we've had the last 2 years covering that event. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also tomorrow night, the Outlaw Sim Series at Martinsville Speedway, 7:30 Eastern. You can catch them at the same time on different parts of our platforms, but you'll catch both of them on Facebook and YouTube. I think both of them on Twitter, but only the IRL IndyCar race tomorrow will be on Twitch. So that kind of tells you where to go for what you want to see. Thursday evening, of course, we bring BSRTC right back here to Daytona for round number 9 to set the stage for a championship at Sebring. And later on in the week, Sunday evening, it is the MPI Cup Series All-Star Race, ditching the next-gen cars, ditching the NASCAR stock cars for Indy cars this week for the All-Star Race at Texas Motor Speedway. And it's the older Indy car, not the oldest, but the older Indy car, the DW12 from a few years back, that was retired after 2017. So definitely, I think, a lot of reason to tune in for that one and see how those guys are able to handle that one. 2 IndyCar races in 1 week is going to be rather interesting, and you can follow along on Pit Stop TV at the links below. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Twitch is the same username as Instagram, so that can again tell you where to go to follow us here at Pit Stop TV. That will do it for us. JP Costa joined me earlier on in the evening. He had to run right after that conversation with Fiona Siddons, and I appreciate him sticking through to the end, even though we were a little bit delayed with that issue between races 2 and 3. And once again, thank you to the admins here at BSR for handling that promptly, or at least as promptly as they could, and getting that handled as they needed to. Again, for myself and JP Costa in the booth tonight, and everybody else here at Pit Stop TV, thanks so much for tuning in. I wish we could stick around and talk to more drivers, but hey, Liam, go ahead and come right to us then after race number 1 next week if you're watching this, and just remind us that we got to talk to you, and we will do so. That'll do it from Daytona International Speedway. We will see you Thursday evening, 8 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. Eastern, here on Pit Stop TV.